All right, welcome into the Ryan Ripken Show. Happy Monday. And wow, it's a way better Monday when the Baltimore Ravens win the game, right? And that's certainly what happened here. Ravens beat the Commanders. We got a lot to talk to, react to, and overreact to around the NFL because as great as things are going for the Baltimore Ravens, I can't say the same for other teams, specifically two teams in the NFC East that are getting in the headlines for not maybe the right reasons, Brad. So we'll get into that. But you know what's great also as Stop Traffic, Nick Moore's joining us on a Monday to talk about the Ravens victory here at 3:30. Kadri Ismail is going to join us as well at 4:05. Our call-ins, it's back on the menu. Join us at 4:30. The first time it's going to go out to our Holy Shirts and Pants members to join in first before we open it up to the public. And then we're going to close off the show talking a little bit of baseball right now. And is the World Series destined for LA and New York? Brad, I know you got some thoughts behind there. And we'll start off. You first off. How we doing, Brad, behind the scenes? Yeah, we're going left to right today.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm doing good. As you said, way better when your team wins on a Monday. That is for damn sure.
Oh, it feels way better. And would you guys say the same thing? We got Zach and Kevin to the right.
Yeah, we have big news actually for our members. Oh. And Laura pointed this out for us, but we officially have reached the next threshold of channel membership. So for those who have been members for 6 consecutive months, 6 months on the show, you are now a Zach Bollinger cow suit emoji. My run is over as the main emoji. Zach Bollinger has taken my place here.
And it's gonna be me for like 6 months.
Yep. Next one. Next one is at a year. So
yeah, baby.
Oh, sugar. That is going to be something. What are the other ones? We had a couple left then.
Yeah, we're going in order. So,
what has happened so far? So everyone can know.
First one is just the show logo. So when you initially become a member, you're just the show logo. Then Ollie is the next one. Then after that, it's me. Then after that, it's Zach. And then the mystery continues.
The mystery continues from there. Oh. And I see Fat O's fan. We got the moo.
All right.
Moo, baby. Grr, baby. Oh, goodness gracious. Hey, and let us know where you guys are joining in from. And Joe, I will quit when it's Rocco. We don't blame you, Joe.
Not at all.
If that's the case. And, Joe's been on for every call, and we'll see if he makes it for this one as well. But everyone here, we appreciate all the support as always. If you guys, again, to be a member, you click that join button to be a Rips Good Kid. And if you want to join the Holy Shirts and Pants members, when we have future interviews and we have behind the scenes and everything, you guys will get to know that first. And we have other perks that we continue to work on here at the Ryan Ripken Show. So thank you. Appreciate you. And the Flock Rundown. What's up, boys? Love the content. Victory Monday. Feeling real good. Yeah, tell us how good you guys are feeling on this Monday. And also tell us where you're tuning in from. We always love hearing where people are tuning in from. I know during baseball season, Brad, we had some people well overseas tuning in here, and I'm sure we have the same here for the NFL season. But, guys, let's just jump right into it before Nick joins us here in about 25 minutes. First reactions to this Ravens-Commanders game. Honestly, I thought it lived up to the bill. I thought it was a good game. I thought you saw a lot of great things. I think that once and for all, we have proven that Lamar Jackson is still an MVP player. And actually, I think he's still the MVP frontrunner, to be honest, right here. Arguably one of his best games of his career that he had. Derrick Henry was unbelievable.
Yep. He was 20 for 26, Lamar Jackson was. And so for a lot of people who thought Jaden Daniels was a better thrower of the football, Ryan Clark, Lamar Jackson showed up and said, hold my beer. Look, the other thing I wanted to say was it's a damn shame this game wasn't prime time because there was a lot of shitty football yesterday that I didn't even watch the Bengals Giants game last night.
Good. Because
I'm glad that I did not waste my life watching that game. And so there was just games like that all over the place. Cowboys game, the Philly game, like just not good football yesterday. And the one game that should have been on national television just wasn't.
It was a lot of shit thrown against the wall.
Yeah.
I know that in cases, look, it's hard in the NFL. That Bengals Giants game, great defensive battle if you loved it. But also if you're a Giants fan or anything, it was just bad. And also if you picked up Greg Joseph, sorry, not Caleb Joseph, former catcher for the Orioles. Greg Joseph, and you started him in fantasy, you got -1 points because he missed 2 field goals in that game. The Giants lose the game 17-7.
Terrible.
Nothing was. Joe Burrow had the first touchdown of the game
47
on a
yards
47-yard run. That was the highlight, and that was actually pretty cool. I will say, shout out Joe.
Went downhill fast,
and then after that, it was terrible. Good defensive game, but you're right. It's just the Commanders in general, fellas. I'm happy for the fans. Jaden Daniels is the real deal. I think that you saw it yesterday.
Yep.
His poise, he made big throws. 4th down to Scary Terry, which Ravens called timeout after they saw one-on-one with Terry. Then went back to the same play.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
And then I didn't know. I think Jaden Daniels is now like 9 for 9 on 4th downs.
Incredible.
9 for 10 now.
I think he's. That was to make it 9 for 9, and then didn't they get one more on the next?
Yeah, but
drive?
they didn't count that as a conversion because there was a penalty or some weird thing that happened.
Yes, it would be still not.
Oh man, so Jaden Daniels was throwing he was throwing some dots, but Scary Terry one-on-one makes a play. He had 2 touchdowns on the game, and that first touchdown to Terry, pump fake, look a guy off, and then beautiful throw up top. There was nothing that I could take away that changes my opinion of how good Jaden Daniels is going to be. But I think yesterday, is a fair reminder that the Baltimore Ravens are a very good offensive team. Lamar Jackson is an MVP front runner, and Derrick Henry is the best running back in football right now. I think that all 3 statements can be true. Does anyone argue that?
No, but I will say this, like on the other side of that, what we were also again reaffirmed of was that the Ravens secondary is kind of trash. Can we agree on that? There was actually dropped passes that would have been for huge chunk yards had the defense definitely got lucky a lot of times, on a lot of plays because of drop balls. So and wide open drop passes, by the way, not just like, this guy heard footsteps, and so the Ravens defense, scared this guy. There was like wide open passes that were dropped, and so like it could have been a lot worse yesterday. It could have been a lot scarier, I should say. But so just another lot of positives, but that's still a glaring weakness within the squad.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing with that is they need to get some more pass rush. Like they got to generate it somewhere because
so many.
Jaden
Daniels was upright all day, right?
Yeah, it pretty much. I mean, he got.
Yeah, Travis Jones had a sack.
Yeah, I was gonna say they had their moments where they put pressure, but for the most part, if the Ravens aren't sending guys, if they're sticking with a 4-man rush, it just felt like this year there hasn't been as much push from the defense. And if you're going to let the corner sit back there, especially with the type of receivers the Ravens have gone up against, it sucks to be a corner and have to guard Chase, Higgins, Devontae, all them for 4 or 5 seconds at a time. So I think as a whole, I would love to see the Ravens secondary get it together more, but it also, I think, starts with up front, they got to get something going.
Yeah, Kev, we'll go to this, talk defense, then we'll play the clip about, why Lamar's viewed as a front runner by Brian Baldinger there on the breakdown. But let's talk defense here for a sec, Kev, because here's the thing. The Ravens defense actually stopped the run. They did a very good job of stopping the run, but it goes to this point here in general. That's great. You can try to make a team more one-dimensional. Now, the Commanders still tried to run the football, but what Brad alluded to, and even Zach, whether you're going to get home or not, outside of Scary Terry, that was the only scary threat for the Commanders, and we know Baltimore is going to have to face some weapons. I mean, next week will be a very tall task. You got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on the Buccaneers. So if there's one thing right there for the Ravens, that is going to be the concern, is how can you contain the high prolific wide receivers as the Ravens continue moving on the season?
Do you guys remember the first season that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl under Patrick Mahomes? What their defense was like, where it was like 50-something to 50-something versus the Rams. So like, I think that this Ravens team in general kind of reminds me of that, sans Derrick Henry. So like, I think next week, and we'll get into that on Thursday, but could very well be like another shootout type of game.
Oh, I think it's going to.
And and look, the Tampa Bay is also, if Rachaad White's back, I mean, it's going to be another like offensive, just explosive kind of game.
Well, they had an explosive game down there in New Orleans there.
50 points, over 50 points scored in the first half.
Yeah, between both teams.
Yeah.
Combined. But Kev, right there, that's still good. We're in week 6 now. It's the same talking point. Ravens have a talented secondary.
Yep.
but the numbers aren't reflecting that right now.
No, and I think it's a lot of different things. I think, again, Zach Gore is still adjusting. There have been miscommunications. The players aren't playing. I mean, it's everything combined.
Yeah.
And you see Marcus Williams get frozen and turned around by Jaden Daniels on that first touchdown to Terry, where, Terry enters his zone and Marcus, gets deadlocked on Jaden and just like freezes. And Jaden just plops it over him.
Yep.
I mean, Brandon Stevens had a lot of good plays in this game, but I think he'd be like the best corner of all time if he could just turn his head around on the ball. If he just turned the head around. Marlon had some miscommunications. Nate had some good and bad in this game. So I know a lot of people are wondering about like, oh, the deadline, could they add like a corner or safety? I don't know where they're going to play.
Yeah.
I think the Ravens are just going to stick with their guys, but it needs to be better than this because we talked about, all right, week 6.
I don't know. I mean, Marcus Williams, they probably could. Like
next year, probably.
Yeah, I just don't know right now if they're going to give up on him mid-year.
Well, and this is the thing I want to say, because you're bringing up all the points, Kev, right? Of like, there's still miscommunications. Brandon Stevens, it feels like he's in a good position, but then they make a good play, or he's not
good game.
Yeah, like Terry made some tough catches too. I want to say that he made
unbelievable
some unbelievable catches, great throws by Jaden Daniels. Give the kid his due. He was throwing some dots, but the point being here is this going to be evolving over time? You don't want to peak in week 6, obviously, but you are going to have to face some teams that have some very good wide receivers. I guess the positive is that the offense is humming. And I mean, it's probably the best offense we've seen Lamar Jackson and the Ravens have since he took over. That 2019 team was special offensively. This team, to me, is in a different gear because they're so dynamic. And actually, Brian Baldinger was breaking down Lamar's game. I want to play that clip for you guys because he says that he thinks this is impossibly the best Lamar we've seen, and that's pretty terrifying.
Like his play right now, play action, turning his back to the defense, stepping up, making his throw to Rashad Bateman. Perfect throw. One perfect throw after another. He might miss a throw. He never misses a read. It's unbelievable how he just goes through these progressions. Like he just gets everybody lined up. Aguilar right there at the end of the line of scrimmage. More play action. Seeing a lot of this now. And a pocket quarterback. From the pocket. Just one great throw after another. Like the throws, they can't be any more perfect. One after another. Like he just doesn't miss reads. He might miss a throw, but look at this. Here comes this little X stunt up front by Washington, goes through his progressions, and then a little sidearm right there to Zay Flowers, who doesn't miss either. I formation. Lots of, I don't even call it play action anymore. It's just play Jackson. Play Jackson with this read. Isaiah Likely. You can just see it. Perfect. Right on top of the rim for him. Then you get this. The maestro, just directing traffic. The leader of the orchestra right here. Here it comes. Washington trying to blitz. Frankie Luvo comes. Good job by Justice Hill. Step up. Like every pass is so catchable. And so they all get a chance to run with it after the catch. And then Mark Andrews. This one right here. Like Mark Andrews hasn't had a touchdown catch since October 29th last year at Arizona. That's all going to change on this one. With the Pompano whistle right here. Because he whistled that ball right into the end zone. Whew. He looked pretty excited. He looks really excited. This offense, is it unstoppable? Is Lamar better than any of the MVPs? Is he the best thrower in the league? Ask the question.
So that's very high praise, right? And I mean, and rightfully so. What I love the evolution and everyone with Lamar Jackson is he has more of a feel on the offense. He's hitting wide receivers in stride so they can get yards after catch and make plays. And also the other element, because you have Derrick Henry, and this is actually the part I think we've seen over the last few weeks, is he's getting under center and doing the play action now, because now that's where Derrick Henry's at his best, right? Oh, going downfield, let Derrick Henry be back in the eye. And now the play action, it sets up everything else. And Lamar Jackson, guys, I don't think this isn't being a homer. This is not trying to be biased. There isn't a quarterback that's ahead of him for the MVP right now. I know the Chiefs are 5-0 and they rightfully should be, but that's also because of their whole team concept. Lamar Jackson, numbers wise, and what the Ravens are doing, best offense in football right now. Yeah. He's the best quarterback offensively in football.
Yeah, Baldy got me fired up with that. That was one of those breakdowns that just absolutely got me fired up. Just the entire time with the way that he was it's the way he explains it. I love how he said Lamar he might miss passes, but he doesn't miss reads. And so I think that's one of those situations where it's right. Lamar is seeing the ball this year, or seeing the field in ways I'm not sure we've seen him do it. The progression, he's taking what the defense is giving him. He's not trying to force it over into coverage. And that's, I think, the biggest, I don't want to say surprise, but biggest jump that Lamar's taken over his career is the way that right now he's taking what the defense is giving him. He's not trying to be a hero 24/7. And it's led to the Ravens having one of the best offenses that I've probably ever seen in Baltimore.
Yeah, no doubt about it here. And we know, sorry guys, that we see a little bit of a broken camera in the moment here. We're still here. You guys can hear us. We're sounding good, having a great time while we're maybe trying to work through the little bit of a difficulty here. And maybe and that's also with us trying to fix our new equipment at the same time. So it's all part of it. Did something else happen?
No, just this bullshit.
We're having a good time though. Oh. It wanted to come back in. Put it back in. This is the RA. It's a good time to remind people we do this on Spotify and Apple, by the way. So if you're listening, it's just like you're listening in the car and being a respectable person and not driving and watching, but you can watch on YouTube. You can listen on Spotify and Apple, and we'd appreciate all of you if you can hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review at the same time here as we continue to figure out. I think the comments here are the best. There we go. Guess who's back? Back again. Ryan and the guys are back. Tell a friend. Woo! All right, but yeah, in general, Lamar Jackson is the guy. There's just no ands, ifs, or buts about it. And I just think when any big matchup, I think, Kev, you said it before, Brad, the national media wanted Jaden to win this game. They wanted the Commanders to win for another reason of what Lamar is not doing. But instead, Lamar just continues to rack up play after play. And Derrick Henry, we cannot undermine how great Derrick Henry's been. No. That dude, I cannot tell you how happy that it is not happening to the Ravens anymore.
Yes.
That is the main thing. That guy absolutely tormented defenses, specifically Baltimore, for years. So it's been great to see. We got a lot of more Ravens to talk about here, so we'll get into it and the difficulties we know. We appreciate you guys hanging with us. We should get that cat that's hanging by a wire. Says hang in there. When we have technical difficulties. And it can be Banksy with one leg, 3 legs.
Hanging on by the one leg.
Just hanging on by the one leg.
That was a fairly easy fix, though.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that was about, but
yeah, here we go. Boom, bada bing, bada boom.
That's what happens when you get new equipment. Sometimes you just gotta, I don't know, get out the cobwebs, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, sometimes
the gremlins.
The gremlins. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. So let's go.
Name that movie, Kevin.
A movie.
Okay. Let's go in. I don't want to give you my full reaction because that makes me mad.
Jeez.
It's only going to make me mad. Let's talk about some other reactions around the NFL that did piss people off, that made people so frustrated.
Yep.
And it's 2 NFC East teams. No, not the Commanders. And no, not the Giants, surprisingly. Let's start with the Philadelphia Eagles because this one's loaded here. The Eagles snuck by the Browns at home. They had A.J. Brown back. They had Devontae Smith back. Jalen Hurts played a pretty clean game. And yet, we're not talking about the win on the field, even though it wasn't pretty. It was what Nick Sirianni did after. And if you guys saw the press conference, Nick Sirianni essentially was talking to fans about he loves when they cheer. They're not fans when they boo. And I'll tell you what, we got 2 takes here. I think we start with Damian Woody on Get Up talking about this. He just went off on Nick Sirianni right here. So take a listen.
What do you think of that?
What's this clown behavior, bro? This dude is a clown. Like, seriously, you gonna seriously talk trash to the fans?
Your own fans.
Your own fans. Like, listen, people come out here and pay big money to come out and watch you put a product out on the field. When you don't perform well, they have every right to boo you.
Damn right.
And you gonna get all in your feelings because fans are booing you because your team stinks? Like, bro, come on. And then you brought up in our meet, like, oh, then you're gonna bring your kids into the post game to kind of soften the blow from what reporters might ask you. This dude is a straight clown, bro. Like, I just don't have any respect for what this man is doing. Y'all barely beat the god-awful Cleveland Browns, and then you want to talk trash to the fans. Get the hell out of here.
So on the other part here, by the way, saying how bad the Browns have been, the Cowboys beat the Browns by double digits. The Commanders smoked the Browns just, a week ago?
Yeah.
Right? So you don't feel good the fact that Cleveland, who can't score a touchdown with Deshaun Watson. What was that even? Like, they're throwing out quotes, Kevin, from Kevin Stefanski about Deshaun's still great. He's amazing, but isn't the numbers or something that it's just terrible for Deshaun?
Yeah, one of the worst graded quarterbacks in the last 20 years or something in terms of EPA and a bunch of other things. And there's all these questions about, is this really Stefanski's decision, or are the Haslams pulling the strings and saying, look, we invested so much into this guy? So it's crazy, all these wild talks that are going on, but the Browns are in a tough spot.
So that's the Browns in a tough spot. Wild, dysfunction, terrible. The Eagles barely win this game, and then Greeny then finished it off here, giving you guys a little bit more perspective. Let's play his clip, and we'll react on the other side.
Good God, shut up. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't just not say this now. Okay, you do not in life get to choose the parts of things you like and you don't like. If you're not ready to be booed, then I'm telling you right now, don't be the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a job that people would give what would people give? Your dad was the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles for a long time. It was one of the proudest things of his entire life to his dying day, and so would everybody would be. You know what? If your team doesn't play well, you're going to get booed sometimes, and if that's what you're worried about, then you're thinking about all the wrong things. Picking a fight with your own fans is the absolute worst thing a coach can do. You want to talk about not very productive? He's saying, well, I don't think it's very productive if the fans are booing us. How productive is it for you to be worrying about that when your team is barely beating what looks like the worst team in the entire NFL? So what I would say is, when the coach gets up there and says afterwards, well, I don't like it when they boo us, but I love it when they cheer us, you're basically telling me I only want the fun parts of this job and I don't want the tough parts. Well, that's not a real tough sounding reaction to me. So it seems to me they need a completely different attitude when it comes to that. Now, I'm not sitting here saying fire the coach. I'm saying the coach needs to look at himself in the mirror and say, what the actual heck was I thinking yesterday?
You got to have thick skin to be a head coach, a manager, or even if you are one of the best players in whatever league or whatever you do. And let's just take out sports. Whatever you're doing, and you reach a position that's a job that's coveted, that people want, and you're more in the public eye, you're going to be up for criticism.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's just the reality of it. And if you don't like it, you're going to, well, tough shit. You're going to have to deal with it. And right now for the Eagles, that is a tough city. They expect and demand more success. And I'm cool if your team's struggling. Like, I'm cool with the Eagles, having struggles, right? Like, that's fine. I think once you start to answer that question and talk about it more, and that becomes more of a conversation off the field, I think that's the problem that everyone's talking about. It's like, hey, man, John Harbaugh's not always the happiest with what's happening, and he probably hears all the stuff that's being said about, game management, what's happening, but John doesn't talk about it. He goes back to work, says how much he loves the fans, and he really embraces Baltimore. It seems like Eagles fans don't like Sirianni, and Nick Sirianni does not like Eagles fans at the moment here.
Yeah, Greeny said that he didn't want to say it, but I'll say it. The Eagles need to fire Nick Sirianni.
That was my line.
Should have talked first. Damn it. Yeah, Kevin. But they do. They should have done it this offseason, and they're paying for it. They had another talented roster, but it starts up top with the leadership from Sirianni, and or lack thereof. There's no accountability. It's pointing the finger to other people. It's whenever things go well, kind of like this conversation. When things go well, Nick Sirianni wants to let the world know that he's the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles and that he's doing all this stuff. He took them to Super Bowls. They're playing well. The second that things go wrong, he's yelling at fans. He's getting into fights with his own players. He's getting into arguments. You just see him frazzled on the sideline. And it's clear that that's not the leader Philadelphia needs, especially with that talented of a roster. So I feel like you had your opportunity this offseason. It's one of those classic things in sports where we're watching a team hang on to a coach 1 year too long. The writing was on the wall this offseason. He should have been gone.
Yep. This is exactly why I was saying yesterday that I think that the Commanders could actually win the entire division.
Yeah.
The Eagles are in shambles. The Cowboys are arguably the bottom 5 team right now. in the entire NFL.
They're not going to win at home.
The Giants are the Giants. So I mean, and you're right. The amount of talent on this team, and they can't seem to get their shit together. It's just that there is no other person to point the finger at than the head coach.
They fired their offensive coordinator last year and defensive coordinator. They got rid of them. They said, "Hey, that's it."
That's scapegoating.
And the year before, though, granted, they lost their offensive defensive coordinator, but for different reasons. They both became head coaches. One of the Arizona Cardinals and Gannon, the other one Steichen with the Colts, right? But so you got rid of it. You brought in then who they thought could help fix this. You have an arguably we're going to be generous here, but top 5 wide receiver A.J. Brown could be top 3. Yeah. You have a top 5 running back, Saquon Barkley could be another top 3. You have Jalen Hurts, that's a top 10 quarterback, could be a top 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Devontae Smith,
one of the best. He's probably the best second wide receiver in the league.
Yeah. Between him and Higgins.
Dallas Goedert,
right.
Solid offensive line. Defense has apparently they are good in the trenches, but they are not playing up to their standards. Whatever it is, it falls back on the coach or it falls back on the management here, which the Eagles are dealing with coaching. I think that's more evident. We're giving Howie Roseman a slide on this.
Hey, Howie Roseman put the players where they, brought the talent in. That's not on him.
So that's the point here to our next question or segment here as we go into waiting for Nick to join. But guys, the other team in the NFC East specifically, the Dallas Cowboys, right? The Dallas Cowboys, embarrassed is an understatement.
Yeah.
What has happened the last 4 home games to the Dallas Cowboys is criminal. And you know what? For Cowboys fans, I'm sorry, look away. But we're talking about things not going right, overreaction. They just got beat 47-9 at home to the Detroit Lions. And the Detroit Lions are legit. There's no doubt about it.
Worst loss ever since Jerry Jones took the team.
Happy birthday to Jerry Jones, too, by the way. He turned 82 when this happened.
Yeah.
But let's play a couple of the reactions here. Let's play Dan Orlovsky talking about how there is no pulse on this Dallas Cowboys roster.
You, Dan Orlovsky, shocked?
No, the Cowboys lost at home by 40. And the most outrageous thing was Jerry Jones saying he was shocked by what happened yesterday.
Why?
If anyone knows football and has paid any attention to these two teams this season, you saw how this game was going to go. That's why it was easy to pick the Lions and pick the Lions one-sided. The Cowboys do nothing well offensively outside of the quarterback to CeeDee Lamb occasionally making plays. They can't protect. They can't run the football. They can't stop the run. They've been absolutely atrocious at home. They've had crucial turnovers in the red zone situations. What's that, 3 in the last 2 weeks that have taken points off the board? Mm-hmm. The Lions are by far the more dominant football team. And for Jerry Jones, I'm being legit here, to sit there and say that what he saw was shocking tells me that he has no pulse of his football team. He has no pulse of who his teams are going to be playing against.
So right there, right then and there, right, you're hearing Jerry Jones is the one that constructed this roster and this team. They chose at the end to say, hey, we're going to extend CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, even though they didn't have to at the moment. But also by waiting, it reset the market. They have to pay more. They chose not to go after a guy like Derrick Henry. Thank you, Jerry and the Cowboys, for that. They are very banged up on the defensive side. No Micah Parsons, no Dexter Lawrence. But they just got absolutely punked at home. And it's not like it's just happening one time. If the Ravens didn't have that collapse in the fourth, they're losing again very handily at home. The Saints, who haven't won since that game, by the way, right? Saints haven't won since they blew out the Cowboys, went in there and just absolutely just demolished them. You want to talk about panic? If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, you think that your team's close to going to a Super Bowl? Brad, you're right. This Cowboys team right now, you can't feel confident they can go out there and beat too many. Is anyone feeling they can go and beat some teams that are around their level? But the juggernauts like this, where they can just have their ways,
no chance. And now you don't have Micah. I mean, look, the defense was already terrible with Micah Parsons, and now Micah Parsons isn't there, and it showed yesterday that they're just that much worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to me, you said it, Ryan. Around their level is not good. They're not a good team. I mean,
And this is after, by the way, I don't mean to interrupt you, Kev,
good.
but this is after they paid CeeDee Lamb and Dak a shit ton of money, and the team never got any better.
And they're now in that, like with Dak, like they're in that now. But Dak, you can say what you want about him. He is a better quarterback than a lot of the guys in the league, but he's not one of those top echelon guys. They have no running game whatsoever. They have one elite wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb. Jake Ferguson's a pretty solid tight end. I'll give him that. But the strength of your team is supposed to be that offensive line, and play after play after play, they got just whooped up on by that Detroit Lions front that did lose Aiden Hutchinson in this game, and prayers up to him, obviously. Brutal.
It's terrible.
Brutal injury. But on that defense, you're right. No Micah Parsons, no DeMarcus Lawrence. Javon Diggs has taken a huge step back from what he was, and they have no one else. They have no one else on that defense. And even if you want to say, oh, well, they're getting Deron Bland back, Bland is the pick six master, but he's not that great in coverage. So with that, I mean, I don't expect this team to make the playoffs. I don't think that, we talked about Sirianni and everything. I think that they should have gotten rid of McCarthy last offseason, but they didn't do it. And now here we are. I know everybody's, is Belichick going to go there this offseason? But they have to get through this year, and I expect major changes because I don't think this is going to get better for them. They're not going to lose by 40 every game, but I don't expect them to win a ton of games after this.
No, I mean, the Cowboys here, I think this is why we talked about, for Commanders fans, why you need to feel encouraged about where you are. For the first time, Washington fans can say they have the most stabilized organization and team at the moment in the NFC East. When is the last time Washington could say that?
Long time, if ever.
I don't even know. Like that to me, shout out to Commanders fans for that. I'm happy for you guys. I'm happy for you because it's true right now. Cowboys, constant dysfunction, and there's so much pressure that they've had trouble living up to the hype even when they've had good seasons. We talked about what the Eagles are capable of doing, but there's clearly dysfunction within their team and the coaching staff, and obviously with Nick Sirianni. And then the Giants, I don't know what to put a word on the Giants. The New York teams in prime times in general, the Giants and Jets, they're just cursed. Giants specifically since Eli Manning left.
My hot take on the NFC East is every one of those teams needed to fire their coach in the offseason. Only the Commanders did it, and now the Commanders are getting the benefit.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, baby. I mean, look, the Commanders, good for the Commanders. And they're going to have a legit shot to win that division. And when you look outside of Detroit in the NFC, Detroit, Minnesota, actually, I'll say the whole NFC North is pretty solid. But in three of those teams, you can argue are Super Bowl favorites.
NFC
in the
North
NFC.
is the best division in football.
By far.
Yeah.
By far. Skull. Done. Oh, you held it there. Good kid.
Let's go.
Good kid. But the Vikings, Lions, Packers all can go to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. And then you have the 49ers, I still think are a team that's going to be tough. They're trying to figure it out here. But yeah, I mean, you're looking at then the Commanders, they are a playoff team. Yeah. They are right now, they should, at this moment, they should be in a good position to win that division. So we'll see what kind of happens there. And Joe, I'll say this. I don't think Dable's a bad coach at all. And obviously you guys saw the videos when they said to Dable, hey, would you feel comfortable trading up for Jaden? Because yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yes, I would. They didn't. They're tied to Daniel Jones, at least for this year. Yeah, I mean, but that is the way the cookie crumbles. You know what? I'm trying to figure out where that guy that snaps footballs for the Baltimore Ravens is.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Yeah.
3/3 does he have?
If he's probably he's probably playing Call of Duty and just getting absolutely peppered on there.
Definitely still on Call of Duty.
Yeah, and you know what though? This is what I love with overreactions. You want to talk about overreactions? Let's stay with NFL here for a second since we have a little bit of time. How about the Jaguars just being awful? Maybe
Terrible.
That's not the surprise, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But the way that they're losing now, like the Bears, which Caleb Williams, Brad, shout out your boy Caleb Williams, looking pretty good right now. The development's there, but the Jaguars were lifeless. And actually, Andre Sisco, their player specifically, was asked about their team. Listen to his answer on what he thought, how he would put what some of the Jaguars players were doing. So let's play that clip for you.
Bad as it felt and looked out there?
Yeah, it was really bad. I just feel like it was, how should I say this? A lot of quit. And, I don't know, just last line of defense, in a situation like that, you could feel when we're playing as one and when we're not. And felt very early in the game, kind of once things maybe at a halftime, that we weren't playing as one.
How concerning is that?
Extremely, and dangerous. We laying our bodies on the line, and guys you gotta understand, like, when you're out there, you really playing for your brother. Like, you putting guys in vulnerable positions, whether that's physically or just like, from a career aspect. Like, take care of each other when we're out there, like, at the least, even if things start to get bad. So, just not a good product at all.
You've been around this thing. You guys are supposed to be better than 1-5.
Mm-hmm.
How do you fix it? I mean, how do you get out of stuff that you're talking about?
Next Sunday, like, I'm at the point personally. I just feel like, practice is great. We come to practice like hard hats every day. Guys are in meetings, attentive. Like, it's not a scheduled thing, practice thing. It's like, bro, on Sunday, it's like when it counts. And we understand that's the hardest part, right? But, like, there's no excuse for lack of effort. Like, that's literally the least you could do, is come out and give effort. And I'm not calling, like, I'm saying that to myself too. Like, so, that's always the mindset, is like, come out, give your best. If it's not perfect, it's not perfect. But I think watching the film, we'll see what it was.
Do you get the sense people are just waiting around? Hey, we're going to come out of this. We're going to do it. Somebody's going to make a play, instead of whatever you need to do behind closed doors or on the field to actually get it done?
I feel like just so much of it is just like understanding the moment and meeting the moment, and consistently not doing that, gets you beat. So it's not a lack of talent. Like, there's really no team in the NFL is that bad where you can't keep up. So it's not a lack of talent, and I know we have a really, really good team. But man, it's just too many moments in the game where it's like third down, get off the field. It's consistent.
Does it come down to pride right now? I mean, because who knows with the record where this thing's going?
I mean, the season's not over, like, by any means. Like, we've seen, like, the NFL is built for you to play until week 18. Like, we know that. So it's not a matter of, like, oh, the season's over, it's quit, look towards next year. It's not none of that to me. But, like, we gotta understand, like, it's a Sunday thing. Like, it's not a scheduled thing anymore. Like, that's dead. Like, so at this point, everybody just gotta understand that Sunday is the time where you show, like, what you mean. Like, mean what you say.
I'd say there's a little bit of panic there in Jacksonville. And I saw it was a little bit longer than I thought, but that was courtesy of CBS 47 there at Action Jacksonville. They're actually playing over there again, by the way. They're playing the Patriots. It's a game you got to win. The Jaguars are 1-5. They just lost by 19, and they now have 2 losses this season by more than 19 points. Their only win was against a Joe Flacco-led crusade of the Colts, which, by the way, the Colts won again with Joe Flacco.
They're back.
2-1 when Joe has been entered into the game. And also, Joe, I don't know if we put that video in, but apparently Joe's wife is giving out Flacco jerseys. She bought them, going to give them out.
That's awesome.
Joe Flacco, Michael Pittman's playing through whatever the hell's going on with his back. And so you're talking about effort and what's happening. The Jags just don't have it. And I feel Trevor Lawrence, I know he signed the big contract and people are going to blame the quarterback.
Yeah, he's getting paid more than Lamar Jackson.
Which is crazy, but there was a lot of drop touchdowns in that game as well. Like, they missed opportunities, but Trevor Lawrence isn't playing like a guy that got paid that amount of money.
Yeah.
But also that defense, you're giving up 35 points. You ain't winning a lot of games either, man. Woof.
I will say that it is kind of comical. I mean, not for the Jaguars, obviously, but the low that they are at, you're sitting at 1-5. You were supposed to be, obviously, the Texans, the favorites, but the Jaguars, you paid Trevor Lawrence. You were supposed to be a decent team. And then, like you said, now you're sitting there, just got embarrassed in London, and they're like, well, you got to stay. Like, you guys are playing this again. It's just, one, it's probably saving Doug Peterson's job for another week, potentially. Just the fact they didn't want to make a change in London, but they get embarrassed again. It's got to start clearing house there.
Just another one of these teams that, like, needed to make moves last offseason and they didn't do it. The Jaguars made a lot of roster moves last offseason, but Trent Baalke, for example, who's their general manager, he's been making questionable decisions there ever since he got there. And a lot of Jacksonville fans were saying, I don't know if this is the guy or not. And I think good organizations find a way to, give guys chances. But if it's clearly not working, you have to know when it's time, because every year you waste. I say this all the time for the Ravens. Every year you don't win a Super Bowl with Lamar, you don't maximize that window. It's a year lost of Lamar Jackson. You can't waste and lose those years. So I get giving guys chances. You want to make sure that you're making the right decision and not acting too hastily on these things, because that can be a really bad thing when you do that. But you have to know when the time is right. And I think for a lot of these organizations, every organization is guilty of it in some way, but we're seeing it a lot more. It's honestly like the coaching staffs are getting more leeway, and then we see these young quarterbacks that are just like, yeah, one and done, you're out of here if it's not working.
Well, and the development for quarterbacks, we can go on and on for days about like development of players and quarterbacks. And speaking of development, we're going to talk about a couple of rookies, little updates here since we're over in London. But to close out that conversation, this is why we're saying perspective. The Jaguars organization has not been stable in their existence. They had some good runs of years. Obviously, they had that run with Blake Bortles, by the way.
Yeah.
Almost beating the Patriots.
Should have
beaten the Patriots, but they didn't. But other than that, like teams that you look around, like people can get mad about the Ravens. Great culture and organization and structure. The Packers, you can lose your players and still find a way. Yeah, they found Jordan Love. They didn't have Jordan Love for a couple games.
Yeah.
And Malik Willis just stepped in and didn't blink, been bad an eye. The game that they lost actually is the game that Jordan Love came back, and they almost came back against the Vikings. So context matters there. But let's talk about some of these young quarterbacks then for a second. Let's do a quick little regroup here, Brad. Your boy.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams, man. It's funny. Brad pulled up on the screen yesterday during our live Sunday pregame show, which you guys should check out in the future, 9:30, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Join us there for every Ravens Sunday. It was there was that pass off the lineman, but after that.
An interception.
And how many touchdowns he throw yesterday, Brad?
Well, after the Jacksonville Jaguars gave up, he threw 4 touchdowns.
Oh, okay. Oh, my goodness. So Caleb Williams now has 2 games where he's thrown over 300 passing yards, 2 of his last 3. They are now sitting at 4-2.
DeAndre Swift is also actually playing.
Yeah.
He is. He's playing very well
for them.
But Caleb, I'd say that Caleb Williams, we're going to grade now. I think you had him very low before.
He's the second best rookie quarterback in the league right now.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment looking at it. Bo Nix let's go to Bo Nix then, because he's the up and down. We know who number 1 is.
So I actually had a poll out, so it's a good thing. So our viewers actually voted 82% went to Jaden Daniels. Caleb Williams had 13%. Somebody voted for Bo Nix at 3% and 0% for Drake May, which I think, look, he doesn't need to get any votes. But Drake May also balled out yesterday. And despite a bit, pretty lopsided loss, he still balled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean Drake May, it's a lot to be encouraged about. That was a game that Houston,
I really don't want the Patriots to have another quarterback, by the way. But
I think it's way too early to see. I think the Patriots, at least if you're a Patriots fan, the one thing, that division is not as cut and dry as you thought it was going into the year. Everyone thought it was Buffalo, New York, and maybe it turns out that way. Miami sprinkled in.
We'll see what tonight brings.
The Jets win tonight. They're tied for first,
which is crazy after they fired their coach.
And I digress. So much talking about dysfunction.
Yeah,
a lot of dysfunction there out in New York. But Bo Nix, I think he's done an admirable job. Obviously, the Chargers got the best of him yesterday. He came back and had some good moments. I think they got to be happy. I think that if you're a Broncos fan, hey, you're 3-3 now, right? Like up and down, I'm fine. I think he's probably explained what you'd expect. Good moments and then having some really, really tough moments. Jaden Daniels, there's no argument.
No.
He's not even a rookie. Like he's not.
Yeah.
Doesn't play like one.
No, my goodness.
The poise is what's impressive. It's just nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing confuses him. Nothing stresses him out. You never really see the game speed up too much for him. He's very calm under pressure. He doesn't do the classic rookie, there's pressure in my face, I'm just going to chuck it in the air. I say classic rookie as if we didn't see Daniel Jones do that last night like 3 times. But classic good, not bad quarterback. Jaden Daniels is looking good. I think, yesterday just exemplified again. He's just, it doesn't matter, good team, bad team. Jaden Daniels was here to play, and I put a tweet out yesterday. Commanders fans got a damn good squad to build around.
Yeah, damn good. But when you're looking at the other cases for the Bears, Caleb Williams, I think you got to say, looks like things are trending in the right direction, right? I think with Bo Nix, you think that things are trending in the right direction, but you got to see. And obviously Jaden Daniels, man, this guy, people, it's also generational when a team fully believes in you, and that's what everyone's saying about him. I wish that we could say the same about our long snapper in Baltimore. Yeah. We're getting there. There's still some questions on play on the golf course, definitely in Call of Duty. The accounts, it's hard to say you're the best at something when you don't have anything to go up against.
Yeah.
Right? Just all words. And I guess speaking of that, he's in the back right now, isn't he?
He sure is.
Yeah, let's bring him on here. 19 minutes late. There he is.
Hey, who's counting? Who's counting?
I'm having some technical difficulties. My AirPods are dead, so bear with me on the sound here. I don't know how it sounds.
No, you actually sound great, man. You sound way better than when you're getting waxed in Call of Duty when we talked earlier.
What about this? Can you hear me at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Okay, because I just wanted to put the phone down. All right, listen. First of all, I'm the best Call of Duty player here.
Wow.
I'm also the best golfer here, so that's it. That's enough said. There.
It will go downhill for us when we play you in golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll go down.
So downhill from here.
You know what, Nick? I don't think you can win at gridiron golf here in the studio. I'll be honest. I don't think you got the stones to get it done. Can we show Nick right now real quickly? You cannot win down there. If you ever make it down to the studio, which by the time the season ends, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. We won't. But we know he will not win on that. We'll have a friendly wager. I don't think Nick can win in that game against me or
it's not as easy as it looks.
It's not.
That's just because you guys are bad golfers.
I knew that was coming.
Sugar.
Bro, I love the hoodie too. I know I'm getting the hat from you.
Yeah, the hat's up waiting on you. When you come over to help me set up my in-home studio, you can grab it.
All right. Hell yeah. But that hoodie is sweet though too.
That is a sweet hoodie. Hey, good vibes, man. Hey, nice job yesterday. Great job. I was saying, honestly, set the tone when 46 went out there. I was yelling. I looked at my dad and I said, they're winning this damn game. You see that guy right there? It's the best snap you're going to see. But how you feeling? That was a fun atmosphere yesterday with the Commanders and the Ravens.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the Battle of Maryland, man. It was an electric game from start to finish. I felt like both teams played really well. I thought we were pretty dominant on offense, and I think on defense we did just enough to win the game. And I think it was for us, it was a kind of a really good stepping stone. I know people had been hyping up the Commanders, and they're a really good football team. And Jaden Daniels is an unbelievable talent at quarterback, and even Scary Terry made some pretty insane catches that
ridiculous.
At yourself, and you're just like, you can't teach B. Steve to cover that guy any better. It was just, he's a really good player, and that was a really good throw. And the dude is just super talented, and they get paid too. So they made some plays, and they were a good team. And I thought overall for us to get that win was huge for us. Puts that 4-2. So we're 2 games up over 500, which anytime you can get there in the NFL is a big deal. So, we're excited moving into a big game this week against Tampa Bay on Monday Night Football. That's going to be a pretty electric game. So we're looking forward to that. Get a couple days to rest before we get back in the office on Wednesday.
Yeah, back to Tampa Bay, man. That should be a fun one down there, especially the high flying. Bucks got a high flying offense too, and Baker Mayfield, man, he's settling in. He's looked good down there in Tampa. Hey, I got to know. We'll go around the horn here for a second, but one thing that. And I did this for the sake of the betterment of the Baltimore Ravens. I did drop Mark Andrews in a league because I said, you know what? No, I did. You know why? Just like the same thing with Kyle Pitts. That you bench Kyle Pitts, you let him fly. Mark Andrews, I had, and actually in my keeper though, I kept Mark Andrews. So I kept him. But in the one where I'm like, you know what? You gotta let Brucey fly. I let him, and Mark Andrews, dude, I'm so happy for the guy, man. Like. First touchdown since last October versus the Cardinals. I can only imagine you guys were hyped for him because I know it's been a long time coming for the big fella.
You can let him know. You can let him know.
Please
Nick,
let him know.
Please
let
just
him know.
send Mark in it.
Oh, I'll see him. I'll tell him.
Betrayal.
Yeah. Hey, just by the way, Mark, you're no longer rostered on Ryan's.
Yeah, you can ask. You can ask. It's in a league with some other guys I played pro ball with the O's, and they said, Ryan, like, I can't believe it. Go, you don't understand how much this hurts me, but this is how much I love this team.
Here's how this can be acceptable.
No,
who did you pick up in his place?
I had to then start a quarterback. I had to start Caleb Williams.
This is Brad's worst nightmare.
Caleb had 4 touchdowns.
I mean, it worked out.
It did. Yeah, Brett.
Well for you.
It did, but the point being here is about
Mark
that we're happy for Mark because he's been, a lot of people are going, what happened to him? Nothing happened to him. He just hasn't had the moment. Seemed like an awesome moment yesterday.
Yeah, I think Mark, that was a big monkey off his back there. He guys have been talking about him in the media all season. Is he going to be able to produce at the same level he used to? He's not getting the catches. He's not getting the looks. He had a couple drops maybe early on, and even yesterday's game, he had a ball that he knows, he would have wanted to catch that ball, and it led to that interception on that first drive. And he was probably beating himself up about that because he's the type of guy that's going to make that play. He's Mr. Dependable, and he turned it on after that. And to see him get his first touchdown he's had in a while since he had that ankle injury last year. I'm sure that was a great feeling for him. I know it was awesome to watch for us because everybody likes a little bit of that salt dribbling.
That's good.
Mark at his best. I mean, he's a premier tight end in this league. I would say he's definitely in the top 3 in my opinion. I know statistically this year he hasn't necessarily produced at the level as some of the other guys, but he's been top 3 for the last 5, 6, 7 years. I know he broke several Ravens records yesterday with most touchdowns in Ravens history, I think. And he's like 2nd or 3rd all-time Ravens receiving yards. So he definitely had himself a day, and rightfully so. Got a game ball at the end of the game, and I'm just glad to see him back and doing what 89 does best, because he's been our guy since I've been on the team. He's been our number one producer on offense. And to get him back in the mix, I mean, it really just shows that we have a lot of weapons on offense, and we only got one ball. It's hard to spread it around to everybody. So it was good to see him back in action, doing his thing like normal yesterday.
Yeah, I think all of us. It's just the perception that Mark isn't a good player was starting. Like, oh, did he lose a step? No, it's a good tight end group. The offense is more explosive than it ever has been, and it just more things are going around. And for Mark, though, it just kept building up. You just want him to get that moment. Got the moment. Bada bing, bada bang. Whammy. He's back.
I mean, dude, how many rushing yards we got this year? Like we got at least 800 or 900 yards rushing on the ground, and Derek's got over 600 by himself. You're not paying a lot if you're rushing for 150, 200 yards a game for a single, just for the running back. So
yeah, I believe the Ravens are plus 400 and some change.
Yeah.
Which is more than some teams even have on the season, which is actually crazy.
Let's not forget that Isaiah Likely is a very talented receiver at tight end. And even Troy's had some really good catches in the last 2 games. So there's a lot of talent on offense. I mean, we spread the ball around a lot, and we're primarily a run team. And, Mark never complained. All he did was block. He blocked his ass off.
Damn right he did.
There was always blocking tight end, and I think he's shown that this year, that he's been able to get some edges on some guys and move some guys out of the hole and give Pat and Derek and Justice the ability to rush for 150, 200 yards in a game. So Mark's doing what Mark does, man. He's just going to continue to be the same guy he's always been, and we're excited for his production to come on the rest of the season.
Yeah, real fast. The Ravens have rushed for over 1,200 yards this season.
Yeah, there
already.
You
So
go.
Yeah, I wasn't taking into consideration Lamar. I was just thinking.
People forget, and then even Justice has had some.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, because I know Derek's got to be well over 600 yards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Justice is probably 300, 250.
I actually don't. Justice is
Derek
90,
has
only 95, but Lamar's got 4.
Derek has 700.
Yeah. So I think just if I check my math here, both those players are really damn good at running the football. And this Baltimore Ravens offense, I think that math checks out. If I carry the 1, that makes sense. The Ravens can run the damn ball. Hey, Nick, because we're on a little bit of a time crunch too, but we need you to react to this because, Brad, we were showing it.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, long snappers. we got to talk about it here.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty incredible conversation between Bill Belichick and the Pat McAfee show, just about like some history with long snappers and just reacting to like how things have evolved as far as the long snapping position is concerned. And I was like, we got the perfect guy to react to this. So let's pull this up and then we'll have you reacted on the other side.
Phenomenal job by Cole Kmet.
Well, look, that may be true. It's hard for me to imagine Todd Christensen never had two touchdowns in one game, but maybe not. I don't know.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Todd Christensen
had a lot of touchdowns.
He was long snapper? You tight end long snapper back in the day?
Snap.
Well, in a modern era, I guess they would probably say. But when did the long snapping become its own position, Bill? Do you remember?
Mid-90s.
Because it was D ends normally or tight ends that ended up doing it, right?
Well, sometimes it was a center, sometimes the linebackers. A guy like Zach Diossi, for example, was a high school quarterback and then converted to linebacker at Brown and then was a snapper, but obviously could throw the ball as a high school quarterback. I think Steve Diossi was one of the first long snappers that perfected the snap and block. So prior to, let's call it again, the mid-'80s, what did I say, mid-'90s? I meant the mid-'80s, sorry. Prior to like the mid-'80s, the snappers usually just snapped, and they didn't really have a blocking responsibility. Steve and then others that have followed after him, and certainly all the ones we have in the league now, have a responsibility to not only snap and block, so you can leave the gunner split. And that was a big fundamental change that I'd say most coaches didn't think it was possible, but Steve and some of the other guys that played in those mid-'80s change that. So I know you appreciate that, Pat, as a punter, getting those gunners out there to cover.
Absolutely. And if you can get a snapper that can block, snap, and cover, wow. I mean, here we go. Mm-hmm. Here we go. That's a big. Normally need to do 2 out of 3. I don't know if that's how you viewed it. That's kind of how I viewed it. Coverage and snapping good. Then you could kind of hide your blocking wise. If you could snap and block well, that's good. Then we don't really need you coverage wise. Needed to have 2 out of 3. Yeah.
All right. So real quick, do you have 2 out of 3 or do you have 3 out of 3, Nick?
I have 3 out of 3.
I was going to say we have the 2024 Pro Bowler for the AFC, and Nick Moore right here. Yeah. So despite a missed tackle and the penalties, we all make mistakes here. So, but I think Nick, it's pretty cool though, just seeing the value of it all. But you got one more thing, Brad?
Yeah, I just wanted to also play. So Bill Belichick also breaks down this play, and I wanted to get Nick's take on it as well. And then we can get him out of here. If that's
we can
get a stand up so that the
touches him.
Yeah, so he doesn't jump over you. I mean, it's
if he touches him at all.
I would put just a minimum of awareness in there. It doesn't take a lot, but just a minimum of awareness.
So just snap and
see who's in there.
Yeah, so it's like it is practice, especially because the new rule is if they touch you, they can't touch you. So like if they perfectly clear, they don't use anybody as leverage or catapult themselves or touch the back or the back of somebody's head, it's okay. They made that rule like 5-10 years ago. I don't remember exactly when it was. So then there was a thought like if you just touch them, it's a
flag.
It's a flag. So it's like get big almost, right?
Yeah, and flip them over. Yeah.
And then some guys.
Throw a jab.
That
used to be the job.
That would never coach that. That would never be coached. Just stand up and block them. I mean, a guy's jumping up in the air.
Yeah, can't coach it, but there's certainly guys. They're punching dongs.
Yep. You can coach it. Some people coach it. Some people coach it.
So a couple of things there, Nick. I mean, obviously the awareness, of course, but then, obviously Bill probably was absolutely correct on that, just like having some awareness about, and that was Myles Garrett, by the way, just jumping the pile. And so I'm sure that there's probably been instances either that's happened to you or it was attempted on you. Can you kind of walk us through that type of situation?
Yeah. So in that clip he alluded to, having a number 19 in the A gap, having a DB, that's not typically where DBs go on a field goal, just because they're trying to push the pile. So they try to put 300-pound D linemen in there. So obviously your antennas need to go up. If you see a 19 number in the A gap, he's there for a reason. He's not just, eye candy. So we actually have our wings, typically they're tight ends, Charlie, Kolar, T-Rob's out there. We rotate. Brent Urban plays out there some. They're actually responsible for seeing that, and we'll kind of in a situation like that, we would kind of say on like in the huddle, I'd be like, hey, alert jumper, just in case, and then do our little thing, break the huddle, get on the ball. And then it's between me, obviously I'll see it because I'm standing there, but our wings are supposed to say, hey, alert jumper, he's here. And, Bill was right in saying, Coach Belichick was saying that you got to have some awareness in there. You got to snap and stand up. It sounds super easy in principle, but the whole objective is to make sure that you execute a perfect snap, especially in a situation where it's a longer field goal. And then a lot of guys are taught, because so often we get those big guys rushing in the A gap, we are taught to snap and get low so that you lower your center of gravity so you can protect yourself and not get moved back when those defensive linemen hit you in the shoulders. So it's, I don't personally do that, but a lot of guys will snap and put their hands on the ground and then let them hit the shoulders. What I do is I snap and I stay kind of keep my chest parallel to the ground and kind of feel the contact. And then I have my arms out wide. And then if I am alerted to a jumper, if there's 3 guys on one side, I'll kind of shift my weight and try to stand up more. But at the end of the day, sometimes like the dude in New York, he just made a hell of a play. For the dude in Cleveland, I'm drawing Myles Garrett, for him to be able to jump, to be that big, because he can do both. He can put his hand in the dirt and run right through you, and he can also obviously jump over you and block a field goal. So it's really difficult to do that. But obviously, Coach is right. You want to have some awareness and be able to at least anticipate that a little bit, given it's already worked twice this year, so more teams are going to try it because it's a copycat league, and anytime something works in one game, then you're going to have 31 other coaches that are trying to do the same thing. So, we're aware of it, and we kind of keep our eyes out for specific jersey numbers and things of that nature. And obviously we play the Browns in 2 weeks, and they're our division rivals, so we'll play them twice.
So are you gonna rise up?
I mean, you gonna be a dong puncher?
Typically we see Myles Garrett on the weak side in the C gap on field goal. So not there, and he's somewhere else. He's moving for a reason. So we got to be, we got to anticipate that stuff. We got to be ready for what we saw on Sunday where he was able to jump over and block field goal. So we're going to be ready for it. We'll practice it, I'm sure. And then we'll talk about it before we get out there, and we'll have antennas for 95. And then Denzel Ward, I think he's 28 or whatever. I can't remember his number right now.
Yeah. Last thing before because we gotta let you go here, Nick, in a second. We got to get to our next guest. Do some what do we say? IQ. Hey, Nick, have you ever had to lay up and lay some wood on some wood?
I dong punch, not intentionally anyway.
Not you. So that was a yes. You have.
I've never intentionally punched someone in their dong. No.
Yeah. See that's criminal if you do that. By the way, I do have some other stories where guys don't go for that area because I think that's a sacred area. But I do know people that go right for the rib. So we could talk about that a future time. But Nick, you're a good kid. You want to join us Thursday, and
hopefully I'll have the setup in here so I can be off my iPhone and get onto a real camera. That'd be nice, Brad.
That'd be cool.
You can arrange that, Brad. It'd be great.
I got you.
Cool.
And, I'll be happy to be here on Thursday. We do have a longer day on Thursday because it's our Wednesday practice because we're playing on Monday. So it'll be probably 4:30, 4:45.
Okay, we'll be here for you, Nick.
Hey, I'm ready. I'm here for the people. Okay.
All right, Nick. Well, I appreciate you. Beat it, and as always, roll tide, baby. And we'll talk soon. All right.
Good dog, man.
See you, Nick.
See you, Nick.
Oh, he's a good kid, man. Good kid. We'll get his studio, get it all set up here. But we're on a time crunch here. We want to make sure our next guest, Kevin, did we decide it's on IQ?
Football IQ.
Yeah,
football
IQ with Q-tips and Q's with Q. All together now.
No, that's terrible.
Oh, God.
Football IQ with Q. And, of course, that Q I'm referring to is former Baltimore Ravens wide receiver and Super Bowl champion, Kadri Ismail.
Let's bring him on here. There he is.
What's going on,
Hey, he's still
Q?
muted right now. Q, unmute. Unmute, Q. You're muted.
I have unmuted the mute button.
Perfect.
Didn't want to say anything while Nick was on, regarding the punching of the neither regions.
Yeah, no comment there. Yeah, it's we're just trying to learn some things here, Q, right? It does get we do know in the trenches it can get a little wild here.
Yeah.
But I feel like intentionally trying to go for a man's region there, that can be a lot. But I mean, there are accidental
happens
hits, but I digress here. Hey, Q, pretty good game yesterday, to say the least. And I know we got you for a little bit of time, but yeah, pretty good.
I think it was the game that they needed. They didn't need necessarily a Bills type game where you just straight blow them out. You needed a little bit of a challenge, which they got, and then they had to close out the game, which they did.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that the way the offense sustained drives, 8 plays, 9 plays, 7 plays, significant drives, I thought it was really critical. Lamar was just being Lamar as far as the evolution / evolving awesomeness that is Lamar Jackson. Didn't have to use his legs a lot, used it strategically, but he slung the ball around so incredibly well. And then, of course, Derrick Henry being Derrick Henry. I like after the end of the game where Lamar was like, hey, this is a pick your poison type of a day. And I loved how Lamar was able to just spread the ball around and get it all out there for them to be successful.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of then picking your poison, we're going to start this off here with one of the two videos. Where one of them is being that Zay Flowers pick your poison, and Zay, man, he had a first half.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, great game, but a lot of that damage was done in the first half. What, 9 catches, Kevin, for 100 million yards?
Yeah, just about 132. The thing I loved. Sorry, I'm hot. Q, look, we're matching. We're matching.
Woo!
Here,
I like the logo.
Wear it too. Here we go. I'll wear it too.
There you go.
There it is. You're wearing it.
Yeah, Rashad Bateman, 4 catches, 4 targets. Zay Flowers, 9 catches, 9 targets. But Zay was balling the entire game.
I thought he was not only balling, I thought it was the chemistry in which he and Lamar, you talk about getting out there. And when I say get out there, I'm talking chemistry right off the bat with your quarterback. But your quarterback also locating you. Therefore, you must have been doing some great route running, which he did. And so kudos to him for the 9 catches in the first half. I liked how Todd Monken used him. I think that was really strategic. It wasn't necessarily all down the field throws. They got him early involved in a game. And his run after catch, the blocking down the field, the first drive was just phenomenal. So I think overall, the whole game, and you talk about Rashad Bateman with his 4 catches for 71 yards, all of it was really a good work of art for Lamar and the receiving corps.
Yeah, and Q, I'm actually going to pull up that bubble screen to start off here, and we can break it through because this is just another way, right, for Baltimore just having success. Here we go, a little bit. Whammy. So let's talk about this play a little bit. Obviously, right out the gate, but just one of the ways, like you said, picking your poison for this Baltimore Ravens team.
Yeah, so, with the ability to have multiple personnel packages, this is more of a run / passing because of Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. But you do got to respect the fact that Derrick Henry is in a game. Normally in this personnel package, you would have Justice Hill in a game. So this is a little bit different. They got to play to the strength. See the linebacker and the Commanders having to play in favor of the 2 tight end side. And you're expecting that, Derrick Henry is going to kind of have that counter action back to that side. So if you go ahead and run it, you'll see where Zay Flowers now goes in motion. Everybody's respecting. Thank you. Everybody's respecting right now Derrick Henry. You flashed that ball into Derrick Henry. It doesn't matter. Look at all the defenders. They're on pause right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can see the 8th guy coming in the box. That is amazing. That is the Lamar Jackson effect. That is the Derrick Henry effect. And that is the personnel package that has been successful effect. So it puts the defense on pause and go ahead and run it. And it gives Zay Flowers an opportunity to go ahead and pause it to now get out in space, the outstanding job of blocking at the top of the numbers by, I think that was both Aguilar, maybe it was. We'll see the number when we run it. But look at the seal job of the offensive lineman. Look at the seal job of Mark Andrews down the field. And, of course, Isaiah Likely going to pop in the screen. Go ahead and run it. So that was Rashad Bateman, excuse me. Rashad Bateman with the block down the field. And then just the awesome finish job of Isaiah Likely to get things going. I thought that's where you talk about Todd Monken cooking. You've shown different personnel packages throughout the entire season. Now the defense gets a little like, oh, okay. Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews. Oh, wait a minute. Why is King Henry in the backfield? Oh, so this isn't an obvious pass down? Wait a minute. Because if it was Justice Hill, we know it would be passed. But you see that pause that I'm having? That little bit of pause, you got to respect 22. Give him a little respect, but then you also allow for the talents of Lamar to get the ball out quickly and then get it into a speedy playmaker who has the capability of taking a big one because of the blocking of both Bateman and Isaiah Likely down the football field.
And, another one real quick, and we can run through this even quicker, but it's the Rashad Bateman, talking about a guy where this offense can take another step. How about Bateman here over the last few weeks? It just seems like the guy is continuing to develop here, and we're going to see this is one where Bateman gets pretty open here, Q, but it just goes to show you the impact that obviously Rashad's having, and maybe you can talk about, at least off the line here, of what you're seeing from a player that the Ravens and even yourself has had a lot of confidence and faith in, and you're seeing it evolve in front of your eyes.
Route running 101. When you see Rashad Bateman, who's at the bottom of the screen here at the 50, and now it's man-to-man across the board. It looks like it's a single high safety. And so Rashad has to do his best job of releasing off the line without necessarily giving up the room that he needs to run it. Go ahead and run it. You'll see the patient at the line of scrimmage for him. Go ahead, gave him a little double move. It's set up an easy rub by him and Isaiah Likely, but now he just slows down enough, huge separation to get the ball in the hole. Lamar Jackson finds him, and then the powerful run after catch we saw with Rashad Bateman, which was set up because you saw the beauty in the first half of the balance of the run and pass, and now you look at this play where Rashad Bateman at the line of scrimmage gets off the line, boom, sells it really nicely, and just finds the open hole, run after catch. Only teaching point, if I had a coaching point in that receiver room, yes, there are times where you want to cut it back, but similar to that Miami game where you had Xavier Howard in space, keep running. Like, run on out the gate, run out the backside, run out that back door, put pressure on the defense. You got your guy at the top of the screen, Zay Flowers doing some downfield blocking as well. Goodness, who knows? You could outrun some dudes and at least save yourself some extra headache because you got the sideline as your friend to run out on. But you probably get yourself another maybe 10 yards as opposed to however many he got here.
Yeah, and you can see the point right there. I tried to slow it down, or you could see it. Keep running. You're saying keep running straight there.
Right now, right outside, back door. You're probably going to run the one commander's corner right into Zay Flowers and the other corner. Just an all-around, just awesome job of him. But that's the only little like, doesn't really matter coaching point, but it could matter, something to file away for later on down the line.
Yeah, and again, another great play and for this Ravens offense right now. We're seeing about the evolution, by the way, of this Baltimore passing offense. It's every tight end, Kev, right? It's feels like wide receiver coming up big, and it does help that you have Derrick Henry in the backfield. It does open up more spaces, but Rashad Bateman is one of those guys that has been incredible here so far for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, and one stat that I saw was over 80% of Rashad Bateman's catches this year have gone for either a touchdown or a first down. So he's coming up in big moments. And to me, I mean, these past two games are kind of an encapsulation. Bateman right now, he's not catching 7 balls for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns every game, but he's coming in, doing his job and stepping up and coming back to Lamar and being an available body, an available target for Lamar to throw the football to. And that's something I love because everybody's playing their role in this offense. You know, whether you talk about Mark and him not getting 10 targets a game right now, but he's still stepping up, whether as a blocker or as a receiver. Bateman doing his thing. Flowers, likely everybody. And I think that's what makes this offense so dangerous, because you're going to lean into your identity as a running team, as you should. But when teams are selling out to stop that, like we saw the Commanders do over and over, is that play action game that gets you. And if you leave these guys one-on-one, you said it, Q, these guys are good enough route runners where they're going to win those battles more often than not.
I would call it a multifaceted run-first offense. That's kind of like an oxymoron, but still, with different personnel packages, you can't necessarily key in on just what we saw with Zay Flowers. You got a more of a package or personnel grouping that early on, when you looked at film, you quickly see 80 and 89 in the game. This is going to be an easy pass. But with Derrick Henry in the game, that slight little tweak, that now sells, hey, we got to respect the run. So it's a multifaceted type of a run-first offense. You show the run, get it out to Zay Flowers, you get the big play down the football field.
And you know what? We're loving what this Ravens offense is becoming, Q, and we're learning a lot, whether we're learning on what to do in the trenches with Nick. What we've learned also, where I think the last phrase, you follow anyone if they're on the field, off the field, go to the bathroom, Q. We're learning a lot from you at the same time. And obviously, if you want to learn more about also getting your body in the right position in general, check out missiletraining.com there for more. And you can see Q 1-for-1. Q, we got to get you and Kevin on a 40. You going backwards. Have to do it.
I'm telling you right now, I will race Kevin backwards, uphill, him going downhill, 5-10 yard head start in my doggone Vivo 5-finger shoes and whoop him.
All right, Q, let me ask you this. And actually, I need whether it's from you or from Nick, whether the rules or whatever have changed. I want to attempt the Ravens conditioning test.
Oh my god!
I want to do it.
You will die.
Years. I want to do it. Not even from an off. I want to do it like wide receiver.
Yeah,
wide receiver rules, not offensive line rules. I want like wide receiver rules.
Jesus,
you will die. I would literally.
You will die.
Here, let me tell you this. I would have to train you for minimum of 5 months, minimum, and you still would.
I'm ready, man. I really want to do it.
And you know what, Kevin? No one has more confidence in you than Q right now.
I got confidence in him, but I'm telling you, he would die.
Man, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
We are going to have to do that. And, honestly, Q, we got to set that up, man. And we got to see at least a training session with Kevin. We got to go through it. We'll have a day in the life.
We should do
we can do that.
I was going to say we could do just a missile training conditioning test.
Hell yes. Q, let's go.
Yeah.
We're doing it. All right. Well, Q, we'll let you go do your thing. Appreciate you as always. And we'll get back on track and we'll have some more questions for you later in the week. You have a great rest of your Monday. All right.
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks so much.
See you, Q.
Appreciate you, Q.
And this has been Football IQ.
With you.
Powered by missiletraining.com here. And hey, if you guys are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. What we like to do is we saw Nick Moore on there coming in hot, coming in late, talking about the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, it was a big victory. We'll have Nick on again on Thursday. We have Q on every single week to break down plays. If you guys aren't familiar with Q, by the way, the reason why he's called the Missile, it's a nickname, right? Him and his brother, the Missile and the Rocket, right? That was the two.
Yeah.
I mean, it speaks for itself, but also Q, his background, for those that don't know, former Raven, former Super Bowl champion. So he's got a lot of pedigree, knows what he's talking about, understands the ins and outs, specifically with the wide receiver. So it's great insight on Zay, great insight on Rashad Bateman. Hey, we appreciate you guys here. We actually have a little bit more time because of the condensed schedule. So it gives us a chance. We're going to react then a couple things around Maryland here before we open up call-ins. Brad, does that work for you?
That's correct. So I'm getting ready to put it in the community tab for our Holy Shirts and Pants members only. If you guys go on YouTube and you're part of the channel membership, go on YouTube, go to the community tab. The link will be in there. And if you aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, it sounds like a foreign language to you. Just go to the join button next to subscribe. Hit the join button next to subscribe. You get access priority access to come on the show to react to yesterday's game, whatever it is that you want to talk to us about, be a part of the show. We want you to do that. Go and help support the channel by being a Holy Shirts and Pants Club member.
You know what? And that's from one of my favorite movies, The Holy Shirts and Pants, and also People Helping People. Another quote from the same movie, which is from Kevin.
Austin Powers. Anchorman. Austin Powers 2.
All right, let's take a very dangerous ride now around Maryland on our Adams Jeep of Maryland. Zach, we were nice and relaxed and feeling great. And that all changed very quickly.
Now, here it is.
Actually, I wish I had my Mario Kart wheel with me.
I'm sure glad you don't.
I've actually, you go 10-2. You could also go 9-3 in just a little action.
Yeah, just drive it like a bus.
I love passing Kevin on the highway because he drives exactly.
Is Kevin's seat all the way up then too? Like, is it like, is he up like this, or you see his body and the seat's all the way up?
He's always aware of his surroundings. Always.
As a good driver should be, right?
No, I'm giving you credit. It's just funny, like, because you just straight.
And I also, so when I was moving into my apartment, my friend helped me move in, and it was a 1-lane street. He got so mad that I was driving so slow. He literally sped past me, and that's who I am as a driver.
You like this?
Yeah, exactly.
And you get mad, and then you yell.
I'm kind of like,
yeah,
like waving.
Yeah, that's like we said. We still don't know what happened to the fish. I think I saw you outside my house last night, late.
I don't think. Nope.
Can't confirm. Can't deny it though.
No.
Where was Kevin at 12:30?
Definitely recording.
It is spooky season right now.
Oh, I cannot wait for our whatever we do for Halloween. I have the best costume I'm about to wear to the studio. I'm gonna look like an idiot walking up to the studio with it though.
You can't be any sillier than Zach last year walking up in a cow outfit.
Before just no warning. Just no warning.
Yeah, there was no like this was not a cow. I had owned this.
Yeah.
A word.
Actually,
we interviewed Kyle Bradish that day.
It was like I was gonna say, it was like our maybe third episode with Zach, and then all of a sudden he just shows up in a cow outfit.
What an impression!
It might have been fifth, but it was very early. It was really
early.
early, and we're like, oh, you were wearing that underneath the entire time. That got sweaty.
I was wearing a sweatshirt and sweatpants, and then right as we went live, I took it all off. I was just suddenly wearing a cow suit. The things you do for content.
So Adams Jeep of Maryland up in Aberdeen. It's 5 minutes from Ripken Stadium there where the Ironbirds play. And look, actually going up there this week. And actually, I think I'm going to try to do a little live stream up there as I check in with them. They people talking about people helping people. They're helping take care of me and my vehicle, but also they want to take care of you. And if you're looking to buy a new car, a used car, even specifically, you go up there and you tell them that Rocco sucks and you love the Ryan Ripken Show. Once again, you will have a opportunity to get $1,000 in gas money. Just tell them that Rocco sucks and the Ryan Ripken Show sent you. So guys, a couple things I wanted to touch on. Rough one for the Terps on Friday night. We didn't talk about it on Sunday. Rough one. They were heavy favorites at home, 17-10 in the fourth quarter, and they lost by 27.
Yeah.
We don't have to get into it. It was a tough, and right now for Maryland, it's something. It hurts me because I was actually at a great, also shout out to Terps. I was at this great event for the Maryland baseball team today. A lot of great people. We got a lot more coming down in College Park, and we want to see them do well in all sports. Basketball season's approaching here, so stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Dropped the interview with Brenda Fries, women's basketball coach there. She is amazing. We want to see the teams do well, but right now Maryland just unfortunately is stuck in that mediocrity right now, and that's something that they're just living in. So hopefully they can turn it around, but it looks like it's going to be a challenge here in the Big 10 or the Big 18, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
One of those. But that's why, guys, be thankful for the teams that you have and who you root for, like the Baltimore Ravens. 4-2. Commanders 4-2. And you know what, guys? We had Bill Belichick talking about the Ravens, talking about long snapping. Bill Belichick, once again, talked about the Ravens. A lot of praise again, but also one little blemish or concern that we talked about. And Brad, we have that clip that we can play. I think we do. I thought
dropping too early. The Ravens seem, just unstoppable. Unbelievable run game. We know signing Derrick Henry and what Patrick Ricard means that run game. O-line playing well as well. And then you got Lamar Jackson absolutely spinning it. Can anybody stop the Ravens? Like, what's the game plan coming in if you're trying to play against that offense? And obviously they always have a defense that show up as well.
Boy, they really look good. But I'm with you. I think Lamar's done a really good job this year. Best I've seen him in terms of looking downfield when he buys time in the pocket. It's not just pull it down and run; it's pull it down and look downfield. He's made a lot of downfield throws as he's scrambled around. The perimeter running game has been really great for the Ravens. They're really good at the point of attack, with Richard and what they're doing on the end of the line of scrimmage. But they've gotten a lot of plays like this on cutback runs. And I think what you're seeing is everybody on the offensive line and even the backside linemen and backside receivers are really hustling and blocking hard because they know the guy who's got the ball might bring it back here to the backside, and every block's important. So as a team, they're playing extremely well offensively and, just getting a lot of big plays from the running game, an incredible number from the running game, which has opened up the play action game. Lamar's played really good. Flowers has given them some explosive plays. And then defensively, we know they're good against the run. It's just how well can they hold up in the passing game. They couldn't hold up very well against Cincinnati. That's a concern. So there's something that they're going to have to do well going forward is be able to defend the passing game. I know they beat Cincinnati, but in a lot of ways, they were fortunate to beat Cincinnati. That could easily gone the other way. So I think that's an area they got to improve in.
But that old lady at that restaurant the night before.
Fired them all.
Yeah, she sealed that fate, brother. She sealed that Bacall, the punter. That was that old lady. That's why Bacall stepped in. Did you see him yesterday? First punt. First time catching a ball in the field since dropping a snap, which would be a nightmare. Backed up in his own end zone. I'd have been jogging out there just like, well, it's my last snap.
So he's referring at the end right there, as we're talking about, that was the woman that went up to Lamar and Zay and said the Bengals are going to whoop some ass. They did not whoop some ass, but it was a game that the Ravens could have lost. Like, that wasn't a game that it was a very entertaining game of the year.
Yep.
But what you're hearing with Bill Belichick, it's starting with everything else. This Ravens offense, really damn good. So hard to stop. Derrick Henry, is he the offensive player of the year? We're not going to put him in MVP. We know it's a quarterback award.
Yep.
It is. And offensive player of the year is Derrick Henry right now.
Yeah.
Has to be. So you got him. You have Lamar, possibly MVP of the league, plus the dynamics of how they run the football on top of it, plus of what they're doing elsewhere. This team is fantastic, but the Achilles heel right now is going to be stopping teams through the air.
Which is so crazy because coming into the year, there was no doubt in any of our minds, man, the secondary is so talented and they have all these guys and they're going to be so good. And it's just, and the worry was about the pass rush. And like, are these guys going to step up? And all the pass rush hasn't been like the best in the league. It's been better than the secondary. So,
well, and the thing too is if we're going to total defense here once again, because I think this is a very good understanding of where we're at here. So opponents' rush yards per game, Baltimore is still at the top.
Yeah.
They're still leading the NFL in rushing yards. The problem is, as you guys know, it's been the passing defense.
Yes. One of the worst.
And so you're looking at these numbers here. So if we're looking through here, I was pull up one more thing. Do when I move, you move.
Just like that.
Look at that. Just like that, Baltimore is second to last in yards per game through the air. You know who's the worst?
Bengals.
No, not the Bengals. The other type of cat in the jungle.
Panthers.
Panthers are actually.
Are they better than the Ravens' pass defense?
Yes, they're 23rd.
Defense. Every other team is usually just running the ball the second half.
Very, very fair. Actually, right now, Baltimore is 31st. Minnesota is 30th. But again, that's a team. Baltimore and Minnesota are the top two rush defenses.
That makes sense because it's also teams are usually playing from behind against those guys, so they're trying to air it out.
Yep.
And we all know how I feel about the Ravens prevent defense. that whole situation.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter when you're up by 2 scores.
And we're just letting them go down the field on
Yeah.
15-yard chunk plays. I'm like, I get the whole don't get beat over top, but let's also try not getting beat for 15. I was like, let's move it up to like 10.
Well, I think also when you see what happened with the Lions yesterday, just relentless on the Cowboys. And even though they lost Aiden Hutchinson, it still seemed like they were getting home at will. They were just abusing. And the Ravens at times have looked like they've abused. Like Buffalo, they were all over Josh Allen and that offensive line and giving them trouble. But was that Buffalo finding some struggles right now? Or is that more of that the Ravens are just on a different level? Or is there something in between? So I guess we'll have to figure that out here. So it's the way the cookie crumbles. But Ravens 4-2. I think we got the lines open, though. Lines open, Brad?
Yes.
Oh, the lines are open?
Yeah, also, real quick before we get into that, just wanted to shout out Victoria.
Oh!
Right.
For gifting
Really, Kevin?
You're going to make me make the drop down to the ground for me?
The drop down.
Drop down.
He doesn't lose any height.
Kevin's back to having the higher ground. I have the higher ground. You have no.
No,
that one is.
Know. That one.
No, he wouldn't know. Don't try it. Never mind. I digress. Let's get to our callers here now, Brad, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Who else would it be?
Well, hello.
Oh, hello, Joe.
Fucking not waiting for a tow truck this time.
Yeah.
Waiting for a tow truck this time. It's running. Haven't had any issues.
So this is actually like you're back in the truck that had all the issues.
Yeah. It took them 2 minutes to jump the truck, and I was on my way.
Perfect. Don't you love that?
3 hours to get there.
Yeah, that's it. 2 to 3 hours minimum
No
for
big deal.
a 2-minute job. That's okay. But how we feeling otherwise? Things good?
Yeah, man. That was a decent game yesterday. I didn't see much. I was outside doing a lot of yard work, but caught some highlights. I liked it. And there's a big game coming up in Fayetteville this weekend. Some team called LSU's coming to town.
Oh man, go Tigers, right? Am I right?
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Man.
Go Tigers.
Joe, it's okay. Calm down. Ooh, pig suey. We're rooting. It's okay.
And LSU's ranked number 9 today, so
yeah,
if the Razorbacks win, they should crack top 25.
I would think so.
Yeah, what does a Razorback have to do, man? What do they got to do?
Yeah, and they kicked off basketball this weekend. They had 2 practices off-site with Cal Perry, and they looked really good. So,
oh yeah, I forgot about that move for a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't scrimmage. I guess there's rules about what you can do with scrimmages for NCAA. So Coach Cal just said, okay, we'll hold up practice offsite, and sold tickets to a practice and for NIL money.
That makes so much sense
It
here
sure
in
does.
2024.
I was gonna say that's such a 2024 college sports problem.
They did some things. They did some meet and greets and signatures and things. So, I mean, you got your money's worth. It was like $30 or so. It wasn't expensive.
Okay. Well, hey, Joe, we appreciate it. Also, can you, before we let you go, can you tip down your head for a second? Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Oh, there it is, the Oriole.
Let's go.
Like the hat, Joe.
It came late, but it's the postseason hat.
It's a postseason hat. Unfortunately, it was a quick postseason.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't get much use.
My new everyday hat. I needed a new one, so
There you go.
We love it, man. That's exactly why I think we might have someone on Thursday you might like joining the show. He used to be involved with the Orioles, so might like what he says. Should I tell you now or should I tell you later?
you can tell me now.
No. Should I tell people now?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Hype it up.
Who have I told?
You've told me.
I've told you.
Yeah.
Kevin? No.
I will learn it
Kevin
along.
don't work Thursdays anymore, so you don't need to tell him.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Joe's on you right there.
Wow.
Hey, we're having he used to manage for a while, but Buck Showalter, I don't know if you heard of him. He's going to join us on Thursday talk a little ball.
Yeah.
Good.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
We'll see what he thinks about
He knows a thing or two about
sports.
Yeah.
about ball.
Maybe I can also do the Orioles conditioning test.
Yeah. You know what that conditioning test is?
I don't. I have no idea.
Run through first base.
Yep.
All right. Hey,
there's much.
yeah. All right.
Yeah. So we're gonna have him on Thursday, Joe. That's our announcement there. We haven't told anyone else yet. Just shh. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Me.
Keep it on the DL.
All right, Joe. Appreciate you, man. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right, later.
See you, Joe.
Everyone, Joe.
Oh man, I like our guys. Oh man, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, I think there is some other Orioles news we'll dive into at the end of the show.
Yes.
As even more, and I think that definitely we have to talk about it now.
Yeah.
But we got Laura in the chamber right now. There she is. She's back. Laura, still feeling the deep Eddie peach tea. Yeah.
Not quite half gone yet, but getting there. Started drinking for the game.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Overreaction Monday is where I wanted to start because I posted a couple things in the chat for Overreaction Monday. So my first one is, who's the first coach that gets fired? I mean, we already know what's his name's already been fired, Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
But is it Doug Peterson? Is it Nick Sirianni? Is it Mike McCarthy?
You should just rattle off everybody in the NFC East.
I'm going to go Sirianni.
You think Sirianni's the first one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go bold. I feel like the popular choice is going to be the Jaguars, but I think they beat the Patriots, so I think they're going to hang on to Peterson for a little bit. I think if the Eagles continue to struggle and they drop like 2 or 3 more of their next 4, I think because of him getting into it with the fans, it's obvious the fans don't enjoy him anymore. It seems like half the locker room's lost him. I think they're the team that's going to be desperate enough to be like, we can salvage this. And, with the talent, so they're going to try to save the season.
I'm going to go Jaguars.
Yeah.
I just think it's the obvious one. I'm not going too bold on this one. I think he's lost the locker room. And, I liked what Andre Sisco had to say, but there were reports of that coming out week 2 that he had already lost it. I think it's Doug Peterson.
Yeah. Maybe the Panthers just fire Canales just because.
That'd be a big,
I know. I'm kidding. It's just more so that the Panthers have fired.
I was going to say that would be very David Tepper like.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, but you know what? I'm kind of leaning. I think the Eagles are going to stay in the fight long enough that they'll hang around. But if things start to crack here in the next few weeks, I could see him. But I think Doug is the hottest one right now.
This might be a hot take, and this isn't for in season. This is for off season. How do we feel about Mike McDaniel?
Ooh, well, you can't fire a coach that lost their starting quarterback.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's a Tua thing. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think I will say this though. I like Mike McDaniel a lot.
Yeah.
Like I like him a lot as a person. I don't know how good of a head coach he actually is. And I mean that nicely. And maybe for the amount of talent that they have, and I know that they're missing it's not as simple to plug in a quarterback. I get that. But to fall flat against the Titans at home, and I know Tyler Huntley was starting for the first time, barely beating the Patriots. I'm really curious how they look coming out of the bye because you have too much talent on the offensive side to not be able to put up points.
Yeah.
That is arguably the best wide receiver duo you can argue against others in the league. You can argue that against A.J. Brown and the Eagles and Devontae Smith, Jefferson and Addison, Chase and Higgins, Tyreek and Waddle is legit. And then you have Achane in the backfield.
Right.
And their defense is solid.
I think what we've seen from Tyler Huntley isn't what we should be seeing from Tyler Huntley. And I think a lot of it has to do with adjustments. So I'm with you. I think the bye week should prove to be beneficial for a team that's now no longer has their starting quarterback, which by the way, apparently I heard news that Tua is not ruled out for the rest of the year.
No, he's
and
they're bringing him back.
Yeah, there's like a timeline there. Timeline isn't public, but apparently there's a timeline for him to come back.
Yeah, they're saying we're not going to put a date on there, but we expect him to play this season.
Need him to, as a Tyreek Hill fantasy owner.
And Devon Achane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We need that Dolphins offense to be back to doing what the Dolphins offense does because this is not working.
I'm a
fantasy or actual football.
Yeah, I'm a Tyreek Hill owner as well. It's been rough.
Yeah.
It's been very rough for a team that has a lot of good players. But Laura, your next overreaction.
And I was just going to say, I mean, all of my Miami Dolphins players are just on the bench until Tua comes back. They're just on the bench. There's no point in playing them. There's my fantasy football thing. If you want to expand the Ryan Ripken media empire, I'll do the fantasy and or the gambling podcast.
Oh, JMU back here.
My last overreaction Monday is MVP talk. Is it Lamar? Is it Derek? Who are we looking at for MVP?
MVP is a quarterback award, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like
Always, Kevin. Come on.
I think always at this point. I think the way it's evolved, it has to be.
Well, and even if it's not, it's still Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Like, there's just and he's running away with it already in week 6. He's
Agreed.
arguably now we've already heard Bill Belichick and Brian Baldinger after yesterday, speaking of overreactions on Overreaction Monday, talk about how this is the best they've ever seen Lamar, and he's already won 2 MVPs, not being the best that he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that there's a very strong chance he wins the 3rd MVP, barring any sort of anything crazy happening. If he continues this trend, I don't know how you don't vote him in.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Lamar. It's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry's going to run away with Offensive Player of the Year. I don't think it's even going to become close. If he keeps this up.
He has a 2,000 rush yard year again.
He's on pace for 26 touchdowns. He scored 9 already. It's just Derrick Henry is Offensive Player of the Year. It's not even close. And I think Lamar Jackson's going to be MVP.
Lamar's thrown 10 touchdowns, and he has 2 interceptions, which you could argue both of them were not his fault.
Neither.
So he, had there not been drop passes on those 2 interceptions, he would have 0 interceptions through week 6.
Yeah. I just think I'm with the group on that with Lamar. If for some reason Lamar wasn't playing and Derrick Henry still did what he did, I think that Derrick Henry could jump being an MVP. But was it Adrian Peterson was the last one? When he had that, he almost broke the rushing record.
Yeah.
That was 2000 and I don't even know how long ago it was now.
14, 15, something like that.
Other than that, though, Laura, it's just usually been the quarterback. Like Christian McCaffrey definitely could have been deserving last year.
If he didn't win it last year, no running backs could win. That was as Christian McCaffrey last year was as dominant of a season we've seen from a non-quarterback in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's how it is. But I'll tell you what, though, Laura, having the Offensive Player of the Year and MVP on the same damn team sounds pretty good, at least for now.
Sounds pretty good to me. I'll take it.
Cool. Well, Laura, we appreciate you.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Maybe Thursday we can hear some good news. Maybe you maybe made some good bets too. Talking about starting something up, maybe that's what we need. We need Laura's bets.
Yeah, there we go.
I will say I did win money off of the Dodgers yesterday. So,
well, there you
go. Well, I hope it wasn't on the Dodgers today.
Yeah.
My bet for the Dodgers today is already in. We'll see how it goes. Game's not over yet.
Hey, a lot of game left. But Laura, appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
See you guys.
All right. Yeah, love Laura. Great.
She's the best.
Yeah.
Greatest. We got a great community here, and we'll just keep it rocking with our next one. Who we got? Is it Steve up next?
There he is. There's
Steve, you're back. You almost were right about 200 for Derek and 2 tutties. We had to settle for 130 and 2.
Fair. But biggest overreaction from yesterday is I don't care. This is McCarthy's last year on his contract. He needs to go now.
Oh, yeah. That was like, when she was asking about coaches, I was like, McCarthy could go. He could go.
You know what I saw Joe saying also, not Joe S. saying that Antonio Pierce and the Raiders, like that situation now has gotten worse, but I don't think it's going to happen right now.
Yeah.
But they are a mess still. But Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys, I don't see them making the playoffs right now.
Hell no.
But they might. It's a
very small chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
They're 2-4?
No, 3-3.
Oh, 3-3, yeah.
So they're telling me there's a chance. Steve, what else you got overreaction for us? Your thoughts?
Honestly, I think as long as the Ravens stay healthy, this is probably the biggest overreaction. They could very well run the table.
Yep, I think so.
Oh man, let's look at this schedule here for a second. And I'm
Tampa's
excited.
going to be a problem next Monday. Tampa
Yes.
is going to be a problem next Monday.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And if we're looking at the schedule moving forward here, for those that are wondering, you got Tampa, at Tampa, at Cleveland, then Denver comes to town. Rookie quarterback. It's been in the Ravens' favor. Then you have Cincy coming to Baltimore. Then you go to Pittsburgh. The weirdest things happen in Pittsburgh, Steve, for the Ravens. They haven't figured it out, but they definitely can win. That Harbaugh Bowl will be interesting, but there isn't a game on this schedule down the stretch that I don't think is winnable for Baltimore.
No,
I think that's the point, right? That they hypothetically could. I think Cincy's going to bring a good fight in that game too after winning. I think that will be a tougher game than people are anticipating.
Since the new schedule change, there hasn't been a 15-2 team. I mean, Baltimore was 14-2 with Lamar's MVP season, I think, right? 14-3,
Yep.
14.
Yeah, because
14-2.
Were 2-2 and then ran the table.
Yep.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
How about them apples, Steve? Do you have a trivia question for us today?
Well, to go back on your MVP discussion with Laura earlier,
Mm-hmm.
Adrian Peterson was the last non-quarterback to win it back in 2012.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
2012, but Kevin was just born.
I'm older than
Now,
that.
it's funny to bring up 2012 because my trivia question today is from that very postseason.
Oh.
Here we go.
Mile High Miracle.
Mm.
Everybody knows Flacco did the late Jacoby Jones for the game-tying touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
What people forget is Ray Rice ran all over that Broncos defense. He had, I think, 130 yards rushing in that game. Torrey Smith had a big game. Caught 2 tutties.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Question for today is, who did he burn on both touchdowns?
Champ Bailey.
Champ Bailey.
Yep.
Yeah, baby.
Let's
Great job,
go.
everyone.
Let's go.
Oh, by the way, Kevin,
Yep.
week 9's coming up. I may or may not have a little friendly wager for that.
Oh.
week.
All right. Is that gets closer? Let me know. We can talk about it.
Hey, hit me up on X, man. Hit
All
me
right.
up.
All right. We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
All right,
maybe it can be for who winner. If you win or if you lose, Steve, you got to give Kevin a booster seat in here. If you could see how far his feet are from the ground, Zach's feet are well on the ground and Kevin's are dangling.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, this chair lines up really well for me because my feet literally just hit the rest, the footrest.
Oh,
like
goodness
right on
gracious.
there.
Oh, goodness. All right, Steve. Well, hey, we appreciate you, man. We're on the board with the trivia question, and last non-NFL quarterback was 2012.
There you go.
You are our fact check guy, Steve, and our trivia guy. We appreciate you.
Boom.
Have fun, guys.
See you, Steve.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. We got one today.
Yeah.
We got one today.
We did.
Not gonna lie, at first I thought he was gonna ask who was the guy who intercepted Peyton Manning, so I was already ready to say Corey Graham.
I thought he was gonna ask
Well,
how many yards did Ray Rice have in that game. Like,
So
I
I
don't know.
thought he was going for what was the play before the Mile High Miracle, and suddenly I was like, what was the play before?
Wasn't it?
It was
first?
like it was a very
No, it
short
wasn't.
completion.
It was yeah.
Yeah, and then the clock was running.
Yeah,
Tick, tick,
'cause then
tick,
they
tick,
were
tick,
just
tick,
running,
tick,
and
tick,
they're
tick,
like,
tick,
"They're gonna
tick.
need to do more than that," and they did.
And they did. Now let's keep moving. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. It's the Ryan Ripken Show. Do it live every Monday and Thursday. And obviously, on top of this, by the way, we do it on Sundays and we do call-ins. And actually, I think it's a good time to remind people. Well, before we move to our next call-in, we did have some dogs. It has to.
Not a good week for the dogs.
Not a good week for those type of dogs. For our underdogs, it was rough.
Yeah.
Woof, woof for our boys, for the underdogs here.
Yeah.
But a guy talking about being a dog, we've mentioned it, by the way, and brought to you by our friends over at Stuggies. It has to be Derrick Henry once again, continuing to absolutely break the souls of defensive players.
Yeah.
He has been on a tear, and honestly, ever since week 1, Derrick Henry hasn't been below his rushing yardage for a game so far, over under. Correct me if I'm wrong, Zach. That's the one you keep going back to the well for.
Every single time he has, it's the past 4 weeks he's hit.
Is he now the best closer in Baltimore?
Oh, people are asking.
Oh, but for the record, just he might be, and it feels so good having him on this team. But Derrick Henry right now for the Baltimore Ravens, he's averaging 5.9 yards a carry, which would be the best for his career, 704 rush yards. And since that first game against Kansas City, he has not rushed for less than 84 yards, and that includes 3 games with over 130 rushing yards for the Baltimore Ravens.
I think they figured out how to use him.
I think they figured it out. And I think Derrick Henry is, I think he's just reaching his peak now.
Yeah.
In this offense here. So, again, brought to you by our friends over at Stuggies there. They're at the stadium at M&T Bank Stadium over there. Check out the bank. Meet us at the bank. Woo, woo. Let's get Jabbo on next, right?
Yep.
Fellas, how's it going?
Jabbo, what's up, man?
How are you?
Oh, we're doing, man. How you doing?
Good. Just real quick, my phone's about to die. It actually is on 12%, unlike Zach's phones. But
yeah,
point
the finger. That's right. Point the finger.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I was told before the season that Derrick Henry was washed, so I'm still waiting for that.
I was too. It's crazy.
And I think the league's going to be waiting all year.
Yeah, I was told there's no way. Why would the Baltimore Ravens ever consider giving that kind of money to a 30-year-old running back? He's not going to do anything. And then we saw week 1, only 13 carries. It's, do they even know how to use him? You know, is he talented or do they regret it?
Offensive line sucks.
Yeah, I think we found an answer on whether or not Derrick Henry lost a step.
You know what? Also, how do you stop a man when he walks into the stadium wearing what he wore yesterday?
No, you knew it was
got
over.
the Timbs on.
You knew it was over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right.
Jabba, what else you got for us, man? What else you thinking?
I just want to also shout out. I think the O-line needs some credit too. I think they're doing a great job. Obviously, Lamar covers up some stuff because he can get away. You know, when guys do get free, which is it's going to happen. But I think between the run blocking and I don't think Lamar's really taken any big hits this year yet. So maybe one. And I think they're just doing a great job. I think they're coming together nicely. So I'll leave you at that. But I just thanks. Good talking to you guys again. I'll talk to you later.
I appreciate you, Jabbo.
Right.
Hey, you know what?
Appreciate you.
He's a long-time listener, not a first-time caller. He's been on for a while. But to give context, he's right. I mean, Baltimore is just not getting sacked quite a bit. It does help having Lamar Jackson. And on the other side, you're looking at teams that have really struggled with it. You guys want to guess who's the number 1 most sacked team in the NFL? They're a dead disaster. They're in the same division.
Cincy?
Oh,
No.
Cowboys.
Browns. That's Duh.
Yeah.
I was right. State.
31 sacks already on the Cleveland Browns.
The Brownies have always been bad, and you can always go back to the cliche of the Brownies again and Brown. This is the worst Browns team I think I've ever seen.
Oh, it is.
Out of all the shitty Browns teams, this might be the worst. I'm talking worse than the 0-16 team. This might be worse than that.
I don't. Yeah.
At least those teams tried.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Those teams had a Hall of Famer on that team.
Well, I think timeout. The Browns have still more play. They have more talent on this team.
That doesn't.
They have
That's not
talent,
what I'm
But
talking
they are trying. Okay, it really comes down to if the one player on offense can actually get the ball to their guys at times and they're not dysfunctional, that team has 3 wins this year.
And they have someone who can, but they're not using it.
Right. So is that a Cleveland Browns as a whole team problem, or is that the ownership going,
I don't think
hey, you know what? By the way, this guy gives us the best chance to win, not just because we gave him $230 million to go out there and throw 5 for 11 for 46 yards at one point in the game. Now I'm getting a little bit ticked off. Maybe that's the reason why Cleveland isn't winning games.
Well, I'm not saying Brad isn't saying they're not talented.
Well, I know what it's saying about not trying. I think he'd be trying. I think I'd just be pissed off of going, really? We just held the Eagles to 20 points and lost because our offense couldn't score. They had a blocked kick for a touchdown in that game.
Yeah.
Is the Eagles defense that good?
The guy who returned that touchdown is has the most touchdowns, or is tied for the most touchdowns on the Cleveland Browns with 2.
No way. Holy shit.
Player.
So when I say this, to answer your question, yeah, they're still one of the worst teams, probably worse than the 0-16 team, only because they refuse to make the change.
Well, and I will say this, though, and Joe S., I see your point about, and we'll get to Rick here in a second. Hey, look, I know people, like, their offensive line hasn't been good. Their running game hasn't been good.
Yeah,
but I think
Jerome Ford should have before he got injured yesterday, should have had, like, monster numbers based on how many times they've been feeding him the ball.
It's all a part of it. I think why Deshaun gets so much heat for all the reasons is it just doesn't seem like a team, and it's not. I'm not in the locker room. None of us in the locker room. But when you're talking about instilling confidence and belief in an organization or team, you just don't feel that this year. Like, you felt a drastic drop off when Joe Flacco was leading the team last year to when Deshaun Watson, when you felt you were better on paper this year. You have Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku to start the season. You should have had a decent offensive line. And in the process, the run game's gone away.
Myles Garrett's still on that team.
And I'm looking at this right now, like, and that's why I get more heated with it. And again, like,
I'm with Liam right here as well. I cannot stand the quarterback market right now. I can't stand that Trevor Lawrence is making more money than Lamar Jackson, that Dak Prescott's the highest paid football player in history with how they've been playing. Couldn't even throw a touchdown yesterday. Like this, I 100% agree. The Browns didn't just ruin themselves. They've kind of like put a damper on the entire market as far as quarterbacks are concerned.
They reset it, and then
not in a good way.
Not in a good way. But here's the context for them. Looking at this game, and this is why we're saying, like, good teams are figuring out, and maybe they got to make some changes. Stefanski's proven with what he's done. I think Stefanski's a good coach.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So Dallas, you got boat raced at home against Dallas. You barely beat Jacksonville. That's not a good team. You lose to the Giants.
Yeah.
Giving up 21 points. You lose to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Giving up 20 points. I think actually what I'm trying to say here is I know they're having struggles. So if I'm reading this correctly, the Browns haven't scored more than 18 points this season.
Correct.
So, and I know we can say there's offensive line issues. I know that there's problems, and there's all the above. But of all these games talking about fight, this Browns team, minus that first game where they turned the ball over a lot against the Cowboys, they gave up 13 points, 21 points, 20 points, and 20 yesterday.
Yeah.
You got a good chance to win a lot of games. And they're not the Pittsburgh Steelers that they can win games under 20.
They are not.
But they are better than scoring what they've had scored. I think that's my part there, so I get it. So anyway, I'm good. I'm fine. It's great. Well, let's bring on Rick. Talk a little bit more about this Monday. Little overreactions here. Rick!
How you doing, guys?
How are you doing? How you feeling? Happy Monday.
I can't complain. Happy to get a dub.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. You kidding me? In this economy, you take the dubs, man. 4-2 now. 4 straight for the Birds.
Yes, sir.
It feels like their offense is definitely hitting their stride. No doubt about it.
I'll keep it simple. You guys remember who the 2 first draft picks for the Ravens were when they came to Baltimore?
Yes. Ogden, Ray Lewis.
Yes, sir.
Pretty good players.
They're also the best defense of all time, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really have much except for please act like a civil human being when other teams come to town to watch a ball game. I know everybody had to see what happened.
Yep, that was rough to see.
That was terrible.
Mm-hmm. Wait, actually, I might have missed this.
Yeah,
I missed this.
Yeah,
there's a
tough. Yeah, I'll show you the video after.
Is this a bit between the Ravens and Commanders?
No, it's a tough scene at Cross Street Market.
I don't like hearing that, man.
Yeah.
I don't like hearing that. I'll watch the video here, but Rick, to your point, everyone's here. We love your passion. Is this over sports or just?
Who knows?
Over,
It looked like it was targeting.
It's
like national, like worldwide.
Somebody should be in jail. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
there's no excuse for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it too. I'm going to watch it then later. Rick, appreciate you. I didn't even realize this. Been out of the loop earlier today, but I hate hearing that, especially when there's a lot of other good things that are happening here. At the end of the day, I want to be able to go to places and enjoy yourself.
It reflects bad on all of us, really.
Yeah,
exactly. And it's to the point where it's Washington and Baltimore. Like, we're right here. It's all there's a good chance that those Commander fans are also Orioles fans.
Yeah.
And you're both like, that's why it's so stupid, especially with rivalries this close. Like, this was just supposed to be a fun game between Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And then we have people taking it like that.
Yep. That was bad.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Oh nope, I'm seeing the video now.
Yep. Not great.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Right?
Like, I guess again, it comes down to this at the end of the day. You're going like what you want to do on a weekend. You want to cheer on your teams. You want to enjoy yourself. You want to go to places, and nothing should ever get like it truly shouldn't.
No,
truly shouldn't. I mean, look, I've been in a lot of heated moments myself, but I've never been to a point of any of that because nothing good ever comes of it. And then, what's it look? It reflects on a place in a city that we have a lot of passion and care about. Yeah, that ticks me off, Rick. Ah, man.
Yeah.
They say the phrase at the stadium, don't be a jerk.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, it's as simple as that.
Don't be a jerk. It doesn't mean when you leave the stadium that stops.
Right.
You
Treat
know?
people like you want to be treated. You don't want your kids to get beat up and attacked by somebody twice your size.
Or to see that.
Just terrible.
Yeah, and no doubt about it, man. Well, that's the downer of that. I'm sorry for that, but the positive is, at least for Ravens fans, this was great. Now, honestly, for Commanders fans, like they should be happy, right? Like the Commanders, Jaden Daniels is the dude right there. Like,
unbelievable.
I love him, man. I am so excited about his future. And I'm happy. I'm rooting for the Commanders. I am, not when they play the Ravens, but I'm rooting for the Commanders here. It's better for the area, Rick, when these two teams are playing well.
Yes, sir. I honestly don't ever remember a quarterback, rookie quarterback coming out being that good. I mean, that accurate, just the game presence. The guy is unbelievable.
RG3 is probably the last quarterback to really light the world on fire like that.
Yeah, and even he didn't have the accuracy of Jaden. I mean, this guy, he is going to be really something. He is elite.
Yeah, I mean, the throws he made to Scary Terry were elite. And, Stevens had some great coverage. Nick Moore talked on it.
Yeah.
It was better throw, better catch on some cases there. I mean, right now, despite this, Jaden's completion percentage dropped after this last game, but only down to 75% on the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one throw in the corner of the end zone, boy, was that pretty. Not Frost, but for them, it was beautiful.
It was great. It was great. I'm not at the expense of us, but in general here, I'm hoping for the best moving forward for both teams, man. It should be good. Hey, Rick, you going to have us fired up or you have some thoughts? You had some good thoughts for the pregame this past week. You going to have some for us on Thursday or next Sunday or Monday?
Yeah, I'll come up with something. I think we can handle Tampa Bay.
I hope so, man. I hope so. And actually, after this call, and we're going to touch a little bit on some Orioles news because I know that's one thing that's been buzzing here around Baltimore. Another hitting coach is gone, so we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. So, hey, Rick, I appreciate you, man. You look like you're chilling, man. I got to come up there. We got to hang out. That looks like a good spot.
Yes, sir. Anytime. You're welcome.
All right, Rick. I appreciate it. You. Be good. Be safe. We'll talk soon. All right.
All right. Always good to see you guys.
All right. See you, Rick.
See you, Rick. Guys. Good kid, Rick. Rick, man, it's a good vibe up there, man. Good people. Good people. Yeah. Is that video though? I did not see that video until now.
Yeah,
that's just bad, man. Just bad. And for anyone out there, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. And Mike Ravens, this community is legit. Damn right it is, right? Like we try to continue to build this out so we can have more of these conversations. And we like to think that we're for the people, but specifically for our community, our people here. We want your voices to be heard. We want to have a good time with all this. That's what we are about here. So we appreciate that. And speaking of that too, and this is why also for the community, and shout out to our sponsors and talking about dogs, our dogs of the week, because they were not good. There is a game tonight though, Brad.
Yes.
We're going to talk about in a second, just for a moment, but we got to take a quick trip up to Hollywood Casino and Charlestown Races in West Virginia. I held it too long there. I did.
Tough scene.
Oh, you want to talk about tough scenes?
Why don't you getting beaten gridiron?
Why don't you think about what your punishment should be for the loser for this round?
You mean your punishment?
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's a fitness exercise here because we're getting our workout in here.
Yeah, I'll beat you anywhere in the world. Anywhere.
Oh, goodness gracious. But our friends at Charlestown Races and Hollywood Casino there, they've been great to us. We're going up there on October 27th, doing a live show starting at noon, 12 to 4. They're doing a tailgate experience. And on top of it, you can join in on the festivities there. And if you use the code Ripken, we'll add the link right here, RIPKEN. You get 20% off for the event. Tailgate buffet, nacho bar, drinks, other game day specials, and obviously then they're also donating back to It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month here. So any other cases where you can win prizes, you can donate, and it's a win-win. You get a chance to win some cool prizes, and on top of it, all of that money then goes to the West Virginia Breast Health Initiative. So that's what it's all about here. And our friends up there at Hollywood Charlestown Races in West Virginia, we love them. We want to see you there on October 27th. Guys, our dogs, we were good the last couple weeks for our dogs of the week.
Bad.
Yeah,
Bad this
bad.
week.
Bad. I had the Cowboys and I'm sick.
I had the Cards.
I'm sick. Yeah, that was rough too.
Oof.
Not
Yeah,
as bad
Raiders
as the
just let me
Cowboys.
down.
The Raiders. Well, the Raiders are.
Yours was at least closer than Rips and I.
Yeah, I thought the Raiders were gonna come out with something, and I thought it was gonna be one of those. I was honestly banking on it being one of those games where Justin Fields loses the starting job type thing. Like Russ was back. I thought maybe some controversy gets injected into that situation. Didn't happen.
No.
Oh, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. I even thought, you know what? The Cowboys will make it a game. We talked about 16.5 was the spread for them to come back to cover.
Yeah.
Thought, oh, maybe. And then they proceeded to just get absolutely manhandled.
Nope. And like, who are the Cardinals, by the way?
I don't know.
I don't know who they are either. I mean, you get torched by Washington, then you go to San Fran and win that game. Then you go to Green Bay and then somehow just get the shit kicked out of you. I don't know who they are. I don't know who Kyler Murray is. I just don't know this team, what their identity is whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also, it's a good way to describe then on the NFL right now through 6 weeks. There's a lot of questions. Maybe that should be a segment next week. Who the hell are you? Yeah. I don't think we know with teams right now.
It'd be like find the fraud.
Yeah. Oh, find the fraud. It's like also find the
fake good teams.
Fake good teams. Find the fraud.
Something.
Yeah, I see it in there.
Like, are the Chiefs really a good 5-0 team?
Yes. I'm not going there. Nope.
6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Nope. Everyone said nope. We're not going to do this again. We're not. Nope.
You just put it on the soundboard, Brad. That sound.
Laura says the Vikings are the fraud.
Oh man, they're hiding amongst us.
Yeah,
they're hiding amongst us. I am curious though. I think it's
Steelers.
Steelers aren't frauds. They are who they are.
They are who they are. They are who they are. If they let up more than 20 points, they lose, and if they don't, they win.
They are who we thought they were.
Oh gosh, Kevin would not know this movie. By the way, Mike's gonna roast you for that.
Is this a Jim Carrey movie?
It is.
The one where he goes la 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 la.
Nope.
I mean,
1 for 2. Hey, 50% is good.
Yeah,
50% is good.
Yeah, but yes, thank you, Joe. It's Dumb and Dumber is the answer.
All right, I'll take the correct on that one.
That's not correct.
I'll take.
The hell's correct about
I got
that?
it right. I'll say I got it right.
So bad.
Yeah, they are, and Zach Loud, they are who they thought they were. Hey, Zach, good to see you, man. Friend of the program.
Well, actually, and I have a question, courtesy of Zach Lowther, who is my khaki supporter. How'd fantasy go this week, Ryan?
Oh, it's been terrible.
No.
I still, after making the moves, and he knows my dilemma with the Mark Andrews situation. He's in this league.
Oh, okay.
And so he knows what I dealt with here. And still, when you have Chris Olave that gets knocked out after one catch, and that was tough for the program.
Yeah.
I lost 2 starting running backs, but we're at a battle. Now I'm going against Tank Dell, going against Lamar Jackson. It didn't work out. I actually made the right moves. And it's not a good day for me. I'm contemplating, swan dive right into the harbor in 20 minutes.
Well, the water is pure, so you get clean.
I don't know about pure, but it's apparently it's swimmable.
It's swimmable. I've also
Allegedly.
in that league, I've told Zach and Brad this. I've lost in that league with Zach by 1.7 combined PPR points.
That's crazy. You know what?
On Monday night, twice.
You know what some leagues are doing now is they have 2 separate standings. So one is for like overall win-loss, and the other is for total points. So that like if you lose by a very thin margin, you still get credit. So it's like a double scoring system. I've heard of that.
Hey, I know we're overtime. We gotta talk some baseball before we get
Yeah,
out.
we do have to get this real quickly before I kick Kevin's ass too, and we go around the globe here on the last one. But actually spin it so you can find your facts real quickly.
All right,
Spin
we're going. We're going.
Globe. It's in the ocean, isn't
Tropic of Cancer. Hold on.
On the ocean.
It's definitely in the ocean.
Marinara or Marina. Sorry.
You say marinara?
Nope. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Nope.
Oh, come on.
All right, we need to do hemisphere.
Well, then move the globe.
All right, I got Oman.
What the fuck is that?
I got Oman. It's right, but it's below Iran.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're looking at Oman facts.
I'm
never even heard of that.
It's a country. It's just more of.
Is it like Kuwait? It's like just so tiny. It's like smaller than Maryland.
It is.
What's the square miles of?
We need some elite details on this, to be honest here, because that is
holy shit. Are the Mets really up 6-0?
Hey, you know what? You thought it was going to possibly be just the Dodgers, Yankees, World Series, and I said we can't sleep on the Mets just yet.
It was looking
a
like
lot worse. It should be a lot worse. Alvarez for the Mets has left 5 runners on already in his 2 at bats. So the Dodgers are lucky that this is just.
They were looking like, I mean, what they went 33 innings without allowing a run.
Yeah, and then Lindor opened the game with a solo shot.
Also, like player, he cemented himself in the Hall of Fame with this playoff performance, has he not?
Oh,
Lindor.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like he's on his way for sure. I mean, the sad thing is not always postseason legends turn into Hall of Famers.
No, for sure.
But as far as his legacy with the Mets in New York, about like that when they said, I think Steve Cohen said that deal worth every penny for them.
Yeah.
Like he even said that. It's like, you're damn right it was.
Yeah.
He is balled out.
Yeah.
Been that guy, man.
Incredible playoff performance.
And it feels like, I don't know if you can go against Grimace. I guess you can't go against Hawk Tua either. I don't know at this. I don't know at this
But
point.
what an insane season.
They have that, and then the Dodgers have Shohei Ohtani,
Right.
Teoscar Hernandez, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
Like they have all these guys, and then the Mets have
Yamamoto.
and then the Mets have Grimace
Yes. And Hawk Tua.
You
know what that means? Hawk Tua just has to become a fan of the O's next year.
Well, no, we need something else. We need something else here.
It's just good luck.
No, but I think it only works for one team. Like you got to have your own thing. You know?
Yeah.
We got to find our own
ridiculous trend.
Yes. So we're going to work on that with our guys here. But, so I love that this championship series, we'll dive more into it in future episodes. But I think we do have to talk about the news with the Orioles hitting coaches.
Yeah.
Do we?
Yes.
Real quickly?
Yeah, they're officially both gone as Matt Borscholti is heading to back to Minnesota, where he spent 2018 to 2021 as their minor league hitting coach, meaning after Ryan Fuller was not brought back. The Orioles, who are the only team with 2 hitting coaches, are now one of the teams with 0 hitting coaches. So we'll see where they go with that.
And that kind of went south pretty quickly, and not in the sense of, and I think with Fuller, I think that was more of a mutual on that, just from what I understand.
Yeah.
And maybe even more for Fuller looking at different opportunities. With Matt, I can't speak on that one.
Yeah, he's the new new Twins hitting coach.
So he's going back because they knew that opportunity was going to be better. And I think right now the conversation that is most heightened in Baltimore is around hitting coach and hitting philosophy.
Hey, listen, Buck or Zach, yes, this would be electric if that.
I am really curious. So Zach knows this.
I said that too.
They're going to, but in the organization, it was always thought of that Buck is going to get a chance on the big league staff sooner than later.
Yeah.
Because he was one of the managers that was retained when they made significant changes after the 2019 season.
Mm-hmm.
They promoted him then from AA to AAA after 2019. So Buck on his timeline,
it's on a trajectory.
He went 2018 in Delmarva and Low A, 2019 in Bowie, and then he's been in Norfolk the last X amount of seasons, right? So you feel like that's a move that can go in there. I am curious though, if Buck eventually becomes on the coaching staff, what hitting coach goes in there? Because obviously they're going to be under a lot of.
Well, there's a bench coach vacancy too, right?
Correct. But I think and Freddie's probably the most shocking of leaving. So I'm curious if Freddie there was a philosophical or Freddie.
Yeah.
Or Freddie was having opportunities elsewhere. I like Freddie a lot as a person, as a baseball guy. But I think Freddie really, and like, unless there was a better opportunity with a big league squad somewhere else, I don't see why he leaves. Unless there was other issues that we don't know about. But for Baltimore here, it's going to be focused on who's going to be that bench coach that comes in. But then what is the offensive philosophy or hitting coach going to be?
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is with Fuller the year before, they were at the top with a lot of offensive categories with runners in scoring position and situational hitting.
Well, so you know this better than anybody. Well, because you played for him. Would Buck be a better bench coach or hitting coach? Is he good at on the hitting side of things, or would he be better as a bench coach?
Well, I think you're trying to groom Buck. So do you want to throw Buck into the fire of being a bench coach or a hitting coach in this scenario? Like Ryan Fuller was a hitting coach in the minor leagues. They brought him up, right? Mm-hmm. And he was a hitting coach in the bigs. Can managers end up being hitting coaches? Yes. But I think Buck could be groomed as the bench coach, maybe even being a first base coach, third base coach down the road.
He's got such rapport with a lot of the current players right
now. He has great, what we call feel.
Yeah.
He's got great feel and understanding with the guys. There's a comfortability. He knows how to light a fire in people's asses when he has to. But again, a team with so much expectation, is that a role that they're going to put Buck into to start? I don't see that happening. I see him being a part of the staff, but being the main bench coach, I don't know if they're going to do that out the gate, because this season is going to make or break for Brandon Hyde.
Yeah.
I think that's, and that's no knock to anything. I love Brandon Hyde. It's just the reality with the Orioles that they don't see that they're continuing on. I think that they're going to make a move. So the next move that's going to happen here with your bench coach and your hitting coaches is one to be watched here overall.
Yeah.
And hitting coach wise, you're looking at baseball, and it's not just an Orioles problem. It's a world, or it's a league wide. Teams just don't execute small ball as much anymore.
Well, that's what
it's needed.
My next question was going to be, to your point about feel, and this is for my own selfish reasons, because I want to know if Buck's that guy that has feel, wouldn't it be a great pairing for a guy like Brandon Hyde, who's very analytical? You kind of have best of both worlds there. Your opinion on that?
Yeah, and so like here's the thing. And Zach was saying, so Zach should have just come on and talked about this earlier, but we'll have to save it for a different time. But Buck was the best manager I've ever had because of his feel. They need him at the big league level as a bench coach because of his feel to push Hyde. Let Buck use his feel. He has great feel. And you're right. Buck does understand that a lot. And that's that cat and mouse type of, or not cat and mouse.
You got an analytical guy, then you got a feel guy. It feels like it would be a good pairing.
Yeah. And so and Zach knows this about how I feel about Buck. I love Buck. I really do.
Yeah.
And it just to me, are the Orioles going to put that expectation and put that on the line for Buck being that? And is Brandon Hyde going to be okay with, this is who I'm going to go with it? And they love Buck. It's a good relationship. It's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's just from the outside perspective, because this year in 2025, if the Orioles do not win a postseason series, I think that Brandon Hyde could lose his job.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think that that's just the reality. So it's who are you bunkering down here with in this situation? That's why with the hitting coach position, I'm really curious, because if the hitting coach struggles, just like we talked about with Nick Seriani with football, I think even if the team struggles again, it's going to go back to the manager. The manager's going to be the one at the end of the day where the staff would get rehauled, but it starts with him.
Yeah.
So that's where I think it comes down to. So I'm really curious. Buck's opportunity, though, is coming soon. And maybe we have Buck Showalter on to kind of talk about what that's kind of like dealing with the analytics of the game and how things have changed.
I like that.
So maybe we talk to Buck about that.
Yeah.
Buck about Buck, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
People helping people. That's and Zach, you did say feel way too many times.
I did too.
Feel.
Yeah.
Do you know what feel is, Zach?
Yeah. Buck's got good feel.
Oh, goodness gracious.
He likes to share his emotions.
Hey, you know what? Hey, Kev, can you give us some facts on what you found out about Oman?
Yeah, so Oman is actually a bird watcher's paradise.
What?
Excuse me?
Bird watcher's paradise. It sits on the Arabian Peninsula and is perfectly situated between not one, not two, three continents, Europe, Africa, and Asia.
Whoa.
So seabirds there are especially what you go there for. So if you've seen the movie The Big Year,
yes,
Ryan,
I have not seen that one, actually.
look at who the movie buff actually is.
But,
Whoa. Whoa. Kevin, these are the facts that we come here for.
I feel like I've got like the last couple weeks. I feel like I've really hit my sweet
cut
spot.
that first.
The last two.
Yeah,
first.
We've gone a long way from that.
Yeah, first
Like,
month.
a weird deer.
Yeah, first month was pretty rough in terms of the facts.
We should have known this was going to be a work in progress when he got China, and the first one was they have the longest wall in the world.
Like, no shit.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Actually, Oman is an important turtle nesting site. So obviously, the endangerment of some of those
Save the
turtle
turtles.
species.
Yeah.
It's one of the most underrated places to see the sea turtles, and some 50 to 60,000 turtle eggs hatch and take their first strides into the sea there.
Damn.
Oman has a Thursday, Friday weekend, not a Saturday, Sunday weekend.
Interesting.
Oh, Thursday. That's a fact, Kevin.
Do we
That's
like
what I'm
do,
saying.
do we
Like,
do we
Kevin,
like that? Do we-
such an improvement.
They literally go by a different, like the Thursday, Friday is.
Yeah.
That's the facts I want to see.
Yeah, Kevin. Good for you,
Thank
man.
you. I've really found my niche.
Yeah,
here.
this is an upgrade. This is
It's funny because all of this, it's changed completely. Once we told Kevin he has to put like weird facts.
Literally, I just put
or
I put
crazy
interesting,
facts.
and that changes the whole.
Before Kevin was just putting facts about Oman.
Hey,
Oman's top selling beverage is Mountain Dew.
That's another good
yeah,
fact.
that's a
Like,
good one.
Do the do.
Do the
And by
do.
the way, Zach and I did save turtles in Cancun, but for different reasons. We were celebrating a long 2019 season down at the beach and may or may not have had some cigars and tequila. We went to
losing.
We did. We let it.
Can't let the memes come to life.
Yeah, it was a straight meme, and the pool swim up bar right there. Oh my goodness, they had a happy hour.
It was game over.
And you
for
have
you.
you have no idea how drunk you are when you're in the pool.
No, zero idea. Zero. But anyway, Zach and I were we were hanging out at the end of the evening, just hanging out by the water. And it was hatching season for these turtles. So all of a sudden we just see this little movement of these turtles trying to get to and from the water.
Wow.
Yeah. But apparently you're not supposed to touch the
No.
turtles.
You can't
You can't alter their course. Yeah.
So we let them. We just made sure that they were going in the right direction.
Yeah, you can't do anything. Or
But
like,
we witnessed it.
Yeah.
Because we
even
didn't
just,
want to mess up
touching them,
nature.
Like they won't, like their chances of surviving are already super low. But if like you touch them, like they're just gonna die.
Yeah. So the actual survival rate of turtles from hatching to adulthood, the odds of you surviving to an adult as a turtle is 1 in 1,000.
It's literally the odds of them making it from hatching just to the sea.
Yeah.
Is like 1 in 100. Like only like they'll hatch like 400 eggs, and you'll see like 400 go, and they're like, yeah, maybe like 20 will make it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's
Not finding this anywhere else, folks, by the way.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Hey, this is part of the program here. We appreciate you. And Bear Arms, we appreciate you. Hey, that's it. And Bear Arms says, I turned 57 today, so all I want is to get healthy enough to go with my wife on the 27th up to the Hollywood Casino Charlestown races in West Virginia. Just that maybe one of Pop's gold gloves. Well, The Gold Glove part I can't guarantee, but we'd love to see you up there at Charlestown. And honestly, I had the link right here, Brad. I'm sorry, I meant to put it out there. And we got to figure out what is a good way to give away. We can give away one package to anyone for free, and then the one we have for 20% off. Actually, the code that we use, people get 20% off for showing up for the experience.
Yeah,
we got to figure out what is it. Is it how many squats do you think Kevin can do in a minute?
Squats are killer, man.
No, Kevin.
What?
With 45-pound.
Did you figure out what the punishment was going to be for this gridiron golf?
Sit-ups.
Sit-ups. How many sit-ups, Kevin? And I did the 5-minute plank the other day, and it was 2.5 minutes.
I only did 1 minute.
Yeah, you only did 1 minute.
Yeah.
I only did 1 minute.
Right, I know.
But you did the 5.
I did the 2.5. It's 2.5.
2.5.
2.5. Yeah.
Let's go 30 sit-ups.
Okay.
Is that too easy?
That's fine.
Okay. Okay. Well, then it's settled. 30 sit-ups. There we go.
Okay. And then do 30 push-ups.
Or like 10 burpees.
Which one do we like better? 30 push-ups.
What do you loser gets to choose?
Burpees is better for content. I just want to see Kevin do burpees.
Yeah, I guess Ryan did the burpees, not me. So.
I got to beat him here. And also, this was the link, Brad. I'm putting it in the chat here, so then you can put it in the main chat.
Yeah,
that's the link for the Hollywood Casino. If you use the code Ripken, and it's spelled RIPKEN, that will help us. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Is this PE in 4th grade? It might be.
Very well could be.
If you can't spell Ripken right, you don't deserve this package anyway.
Hey, the package.
And you can't spell Ostriker right. Same thing. Yeah, no, it's a lot more difficult though.
Remember when Kevin, who was it that said, "Hey, thank you. Look at Joe." Was it Joe supporting me?
We're coming up. We're not. We're not there yet, but we're coming up on the 1 year of the cat story.
Are we really?
We're like we're more than
closer to it.
Yeah, it's March. At least.
No,
it was May. It was May. I guess we're not that close to it. I guess I miscalculated.
Wait, it was in May?
Yeah. Banksy's birthday is in May.
Oh my
Cinco de Mayo is Banksy's birthday.
Oh my God.
So obviously we're gonna have to blow it out this year for Banksy's birthday.
I know we're going longer right now, but I do love the stories. I do love us just talking. We still have people watching.
Sometimes you just gotta bullshit. And I tell you what, yeah, there's 44 people still hanging out just watching us fuck around, and it's hilarious. I love it.
And you know what? Actually, Kevin, bonus spin real quickly, just to see. I want to see what people are really paying attention, and we'll put it out here. I want to see. Just curious. We're not doing the fact. You just bonus spin. Okay. Where you land, even if it's in the ocean.
Even if it's in the ocean.
Even if it's in the ocean. It's in the ocean.
Philippines.
Oh, why couldn't you land on that one?
Oh, all right.
Although, hey, you know what? Oman was a great one.
Oman was a great one.
Good facts out of that.
I guarantee you, of the 7 now, people have no idea that one. Like that one. That was the most.
That's the one
rare.
that'll be the one that gets.
That was a useful fact.
Yeah. Hey, Laura, we're glad you love the stories. We do. I mean, you guys can ask me some stories. I was actually, when I was at this event this morning, they wanted me to tell some after dark stories.
Oh, really?
Did you?
No.
You were hesitant to say no.
I just said, I'm like, I know a lot of. All right. You know what, Kevin? Should we put it off?
All right,
we need Zach. I need Zach to also be there. And we need our announcers.
I don't know where Zach went.
We need Brad Nance and
Zach Romo.
Well,
who, by the way, got a lot of heat yesterday.
Romo? The CBS game. Yeah, apparently it was trash.
You know what? Didn't hear it. Yep, we're having a good time here. Kevin, do you need to get loose at all? Do we put wagers down besides the
I was going to say, you kind of already did.
Yeah,
I know.
The physical.
You got to pump it up. Do I put the hat on?
I feel like you have to at this point.
Talk about a hole in one.
Whoa.
Hey. Are you going first or am I going first?
What do you want to do, Kevin?
You always go first. Let me go first.
Okay.
Nope. There he goes.
He's off. Where's the great question.
That's a good question. You know, it's just everywhere. I don't know. I can't believe you guys are watching. Hey, there he
Zach
is.
Romo, get on the mic.
Zach
Hey, Zach, we need you and Brad on the announcement. So, are we playing the one? Are we just doing 4? First one that wins there? Or 4 and 4? 4 and 4. Gridiron golf, baby.
Pour at 4? Pour. That was
There we go, Kevin. I have no faith in him.
0. All right, here we go. The Gridiron Classic. Oh, well, now we have distractions. You can't intercept the ball now? Alleged son. Oh,
here we go.
Okay.
Kevin Ostrek with
They're
the
actually-
first one.
Oh, that was actually close.
Closer than we thought.
Hey, everyone in the crowd.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Kevin with the second putt. Oh my gosh.
What the hell was that?
Did he call bank? Did he call game? The world will never know. Okay, Kevin.
Are you gonna for 2 points or what?
No, I think we're just seeing who can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you might need to go angle. Oh,
does that count?
That
looked like it went in.
that went in and just hit the other.
That's 2.
The official
2.
ruling is 2 for Kevin.
Yeah.
2 for Kevin. Put it on the scoreboard.
Zach Romo is an Australian. Yeah, apparently. I don't know where the accent came from.
I don't either, but here we are.
It's not very Australian. Though.
No,
I think it's more
not.
like.
Yeah, I'm just saying shit. I'm not aiming for any accent. Just talking weird. Rip with the putt.
Cal Ripken Jr.
And now
sucks.
He's blocked himself with the ball. Let's see if he can pull an all striker and hit it in.
Oh.
Close but no cigar. He's gone from an angle. We've seen this before, but only from the greatest.
Oh,
I mean,
that
it's like he's not even attempting to play the game of golf.
That was terrible.
It's moments like these, if you think about, does he even understand the game?
Oh, that.
Kevin Ostrek for the win.
Now he's doing.
Hey, can you hold my feet?
Yeah. Don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Good call. Nobody needed to see that. This is, I should not have said anything. Shouldn't have said a word. There we go. Yeah.
I want everyone to know how much Kevin is struggling to hold this guy's feet down.
Oh, Jesus. If you could just see the scene right now. There's just Kevin's eyes just staring into the camera.
Yeah, 10 burps.
10 burps. I can't wait to grab a screenshot of just Kevin's eyes, like his face in Rip's crotch, and then it's just Kevin's.
You gotta put it. Hey.
This is content for the ages. Oh, 1. Oh, 2. 3. I can't. There's still people watching this shit. This is hilarious. 6. 8. Oh, God.
All right.
Hey.
Here's your hat.
Yeah, those oranges need to go.
Shit. Love working out. I do. I don't like losing.
I think we're both. I think we both have 2 wins. You
Yeah.
and I both have 2 wins.
I was gonna give it to Kevin, but if you want to be humble,
humble always.
Okay,
I'm pissed. As always, here at the Ryan Ripken Show, I hate losing, but we appreciate you guys. Have a day, have a night, enjoy the rest of your Monday. We'll be back on Thursday for a brand new edition of the Ryan Ripken Show. See ya.